Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show on Chelsea Perspective. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I hope you're all enjoying the festive period. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And for those of us who are already in 2023, Happy New Year to you. I wish you a very, again, prosperous new year. May all your good wishes come through. But that's, by the way, we have quite a few topics to talk about. We'll continue talking about Enzo Fernandez until that deal is done. We'll talk about Benoît Badiashile, the club's interest in Denzel Dumfries. Also, again, the club's plan to hijack Mykhailo Mudryk. There are other topics that uh, we will most definitely talk about because this is an interactive show. The fans are part of it, so the fans may bring up some topics. Those in the chat may bring up some topics, and then we'll talk about it. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, welcome back once again. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Already, we have 13 likes. And if you're watching, if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream. The likes do go a long way. The more you like the video, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered and it will push the stream to more people who'll be interested in the topics we have lined up. Plus, again, the more people we have here, the more fun it will be. Again, again, with strength, again, in numbers, again, we'll learn from each other. So thank you so much, people. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. To some, it's already 2023. Most of us, it is again the eve of 2023, but we will get there by the grace of God. As usual, let me see what we have in the chat already. Blue morning, Coachella panel and chat says Liam Lane. Blue morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for always finding time to join and always supporting with again all the updates you send to me. I cannot appreciate you enough. And he says, please, please, I cannot say this enough. The likes do go a long way. Please like and subscribe when you enter if you haven't, as it helps the channel grow and reach a wider audience. And by the way, again, congratulations to us once more. Again, we reached 7,000 subscribers 2 days ago, and now we're at 7,079 subscribers. So we're still, growing as fast again as ever. Even though we haven't streamed consistently for a while, we just started streaming again consistently a few days ago. Yes, strength in numbers. That's, by the way. Let's move on. Wishing all the Chelsea Perspective family a happy, peaceful, and prosperous new year. Thank you so much for kindly putting that. Yep, I think we will get there. We'll still enjoy it even more. Santiago Munoz, I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas and you're enjoying the festive period. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. Let me see anything else here. And this is, again, I just wanted to know how close is Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. We will talk about it in a bit, but some positive news. Again, these things don't go like this. It takes some back and forth because you're talking about money, the structure, everything. Again, and also it is something that's so big that the slightest misinterpretation of numbers or signature or, again, how something is worded can again, it can become an issue. So yeah, it's important to take it carefully. But at this point, I think it's mainly negotiations. And big up to you too, Francis Winter. Thank you so much. Says again, any news on Enzo Fernandez? I'm obsessed. I can see that myself. But we will talk about him in a bit. And Abdurrahman Saeed, it's been a minute. How are you doing, brother? I hope you're doing well. I think Benfica don't want to sell him in general. I think they do want to sell him. It's as simple as that. They do want to sell him. It is business for everybody, all parties involved, if you're being honest. Again, you can't come to them and say you want to buy Enzo. They say, okay, give us money and take him. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You come to them, they play what you could call it hardball or hard to get. Because if you don't do that, then you end up underselling the player. So they want to do it in a way they get again the most amount of money that they can possibly get from the sale of their player. And this you could say is one of their most prized assets right now. A World Cup winner, 21 years old, a fine player, and all that. All those things you need to pay attention to them. Yeah, so it's not that simple. Hello from Ireland, Francis Winter. Thank you so much for telling us where you're from. And if you're watching, if you don't mind, kindly taking a second to tell us where you're following Chelsea Perspective from. We'd be happy to know. If not, no problem. We have 17 likes already. Again, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream. A lot of posts today. I hope I remember to ask you your thoughts on what's going on in the community, in the Chelsea community. Ronaldo went to Al Nassr, faded. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Even if, again, even if it needs to join a club to win one more Champions League or to get a chance, again, just, yeah, it doesn't make any sense that he'd say no to the type of money that was, again, that's quoted in the news that he will get if he joined Al Nassr. So it wouldn't make any sort of sense for him to do otherwise. It's money for everybody involved. And I think at his age, I think he won't get a chance to go back there. Had he decided to stay one more year in Europe, he'd be too old probably for them to pay him that much money. And Chelsea is willing to pay the release clause around 120 million euros. Yes. Where the issue lies, again, the issue lies on the structure, how Chelsea want to pay that release clause. Again, Benfica would want them to come in a bulk or maybe 2 payments or so, but Chelsea wants it to be a longer, again, payment structure, which will help us avoid, again into trouble with FFP rules. So as we pay down, again, as we make each payment, it will be easier for us to balance the book because we're not paying too much. Morning, guys. Old Havas Kai, morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. It looks like the chat is going to be really, really on fire today. I'm finding it difficult to catch up. But the comments in the chat the comment that I aligned with the current topic. Those are the things, again, that wake me up. It sets up the fire in my behind, so I'm not, because it's 3 a.m., but usually when I start reading them, it wakes me up and I'll be well awake. So yeah, thanks so much for that. Happy New Year to you too. If it's New Year already where you are, smash the like button, people. Yes, keep smashing the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're approaching 20 likes already, and that is just brilliant. And Mykhailo Mudryk, Dalo Chukugazega, I appreciate, again, nice to see you here. Blue morning, my good people. Blue morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. Please take a second to tell me things are good on your end. I'd like to know that. Hashim Nias, lifetime Chelsea fan 16. Nice to see you again, brother. Again, big up. When do you think Fab will confirm here? Again, it's not up to Fab. Fab waits. What you could say, what Fab does is what you could call it tapping, but not just his tapping isn't that easy in the sense that he has the connection, he has insiders, he has, again, you could say, the network to always tell him where things are at the particular point in time, and we'll get to that in a bit. So again, when he says here we go, then it's really done. No argument. But he's not correct all the time. He's a human being. Sometimes he sees things and project that it will get done, but things change between the two clubs or the player, and then they don't go as he say he would go. I've answered that one here. And Michael Obinkam says Chelsea need to check very well before buying this Fernandez because I don't see much in him. Fernandez is a fine player. He's a good, attacking midfielder. You can play him deep too. And the numbers show at the World Cup, I think he had the highest number of successful tackles. I hate pulling numbers out of my wazoo and throwing them out of you at you. But again, what I need to improve from him, if we're going to play him closer to the final third, if we're going to play him as a 10, or let me just say a central attacking midfielder, I want his assist, again, chance creation numbers to improve. Maybe it depends on where the club wants to deploy him, but we'll see what happens. So thank you guys again for all the fiery, I would say fiery comments in the chat already. It has woken me up. So let's see anything else to address here, or we just go into the topic proper. And if you have any question, try and shoot it. I'll try to address this. If not, I'll ask for help. Just 1 second. Okay, I've shared the link where I wanted to share it. So let's see. Let's move on. Let's start looking at the number again. The topics we have lined up here. So now I want to start from here. Really, high praise from Graham Potter for Dennis Zakaria. That is good to see. Maybe he's starting to see the value in playing him during games. But like I argued, the fact that Zakaria played against Bournemouth wasn't really because Graham put to trust him that much. It was because, again, he had to take a cautious approach in that game. He had to be sure that the defense, again, was well protected. And he knew that the only person available that's capable of doing that was Dennis Zakaria. And he started him, and he did he did a very good job at protecting the defense for us. If you watch the match again, you see, again, on occasions, again, multiple occasions, he was the person that was the last man standing to set the situation to avoid Bournemouth having a one-on-one chance with our goalkeeper. And he was brilliant at doing that. Again, a lot of, but he got, again, a poor rating because of, again, he was dispossessed on occasions. But other than that, there were, again, dangerous occasions that he was the one that saved the situation for us. So, yeah, I'm happy that he's singing him praises. That is good to see. Just 1 second. Okay. Liam Lane is traveling. Safe trip, brother. Safe trip. If I try to type, I will get distracted. So again, peaceful and prosperous New Year. Much love to you too, brother. I will respond when I get a chance. You don't know how much I love you, brother. I appreciate that. All the support, the updates that come from you. But I'll try. If I try to type and respond now, I will get distracted a bit. But safe trip to wherever you're going. Enjoy your stay. Again, at that place in particular, you mentioned that. I'm going to say that. Yes, again, because I don't see much in him, that is you, and you are entitled to your opinion. But I think he would he will make a difference in our team if he eventually joins us. Big up everyone, and make sure you hit at the like button, people. Yes, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're 23 likes already. That's a good sign. Looks like we'll hit 100 likes as soon as possible. So now, again, for this, in the case of Dennis Zakaria, it's a good sign. I think he'll be important for us, even if we don't want to keep him. But if we give him a good enough time, which you could say he hasn't played enough game, and that may well be the reason why we haven't seen him reach that height that he showed when he was still in Germany. He needs to play. He needs consistent game time to regain that form that made him a household name, if you want to phrase it that way. I think it's that good, but he needs more game time. The question is, will Graham Potter give him that opportunity to regain his form so we can see, okay, maybe we need to keep him. And he comes for cheap. He's still 26, isn't he, or 25, and for 30 to 35 million dollars, it will be a bargain indeed. If we're being honest here, I don't see us getting Rice. As much as that, I don't think Rice is a bad player. I think we can do with better option. I'd rather get, if we have the option, I'd rather get, for instance, I'd rather get Ismail Benessa for, around 35 to 40 million than pay anything north of 50 million for Declan Rice, because Benessa is a better overall player. Even I'd rather go for the American international who plays for Leeds United. That's not because I'm American, because he's good. And we saw what he did at the World Cup, and he did better against Rice when it was England versus the United States. So if we're being honest, to me, that's not me saying, I'm going to repeat myself so somebody don't read it the wrong way. This is not me saying Rice is a bad player, but there are other better, cheaper options given the price that we're being quoted for Declan Rice. If we want a player that's a mashup of, again, supporting the attack whenever necessary, creating chances, Rice isn't your man. But if you want a player who'll be defensively minded, excuse me for the cough, 1 second, please. But if you want a player who'd be capable of supporting the attack and still be defensively minded, solid defensively, good tackles, clean tackles, good passing range, close control, ability to beat the press, and again, solutions in tight spaces. I think Benessa is the man over Declan Rice. Two of them are good players, but I take Benessa anytime, any day. For me, like I've said before, Benessa tops the list of players that were being talked about that are capable of protecting the defensive line for us. But that's, by the way, we all have our choices because we see things from different lenses. Kachila, my brother, again, I have a little problem. That's why I haven't been online. That is, again, that is very understandable. That is live. Again, it's never straightforward. But what my advice to you, just follow the punch so it won't hurt you that much. Again, but if there's anything you feel like I can do, just reach out, brother. That's why, again, we're family here. But good thing is that you're breathing. As long as there's hope, there's life. And every day above ground is a good day. So enjoy your life, brother. Philip Smith says, good morning, coach, and to everyone in the chat. It's been like 1,000 years, Philip. I hope you're doing well. Please, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate you so much. Let us know that you're fine. Again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. What's the situation for Enzo and Badiashile? We'll talk about them in a bit. So just calm down there. Chelsea should look into our medical staff again because of the kind of injuries that our players is sustaining. Here's the thing. You could say Todd Bowley literally have fired all the people in the medical department. He's changed quite a lot. At one point, we had somebody he hired at an expatriate level just to come oversee things while during the transition period. But again, if we're being honest, the medical department usually are there to treat the players when they get injured or manage their rehabilitation. It is not their problem. Like the other day when we were talking about it, somebody in the chat, I think it was someone said something to the effect of, it's not like the medical department go to them and kick them to hurt them. So if anything, we should be looking at the training methods that may well, again, if there's again, but you could say we need time to say it is the training method because we just changed managers and we had injury issues also under Thomas Tuchel. So yeah, but I wouldn't blame the medical department at all. If we're being honest here, I don't think West Ham will let Rice go in the winter. Yep, again, clearly, David Moyes said they're not going to let him go this January, and I don't see that happening. And if we ever want to get him this January, we'd have to pay something out of this world. And there's something I saw that makes delicious sense, if I'm allowed to press it that way. Something that says if Declan Rice is the club's priority, if in fact everything we're hearing about the clubs again prioritizing the signing of Declan Rice, how Rice wants to come to Chelsea and all that, blah 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 blah. Why are we paying something again? Paying that much money, or willing to pay that much money for Enzo Fernandez plus other players who are looking to sign? So it just doesn't make any sort of sense. If the Declan Rice is the priority, then we should be talking about him right now. Yeah. So if you, I guess, Sean, I hope you understand that. Says a coach again. Everything has been okay apart from losing my partner recently who passed away, which is why I've not been coming online. That is so sad to hear that. Again, I'm so sorry to hear about the loss, the passing of your partner. I understand how painful it can be to lose a loved one. But again, if you ask me, I'd say even your partner would like you to just to stay strong for her sake and also enjoy your life. But I get it. It takes time. It's not something that just go again that you can just forget easily. But sorry to hear that, brother. I don't know. I don't know what else to say, but it breaks the heart to hear such. Again, sorry about that. Again, but stay strong, bro, and everything will be all right. So for Dennis Zakaria, hopefully he gets more game time. We'll see what he's really capable of doing. Regain the form again that brought him to the limelight, if you want to say it that way. Then yeah, we'll decide whether to keep him. I think we should keep him, even if N'Golo Kante recovers. We can still have him as part of the club, as part of the squad, because he's not expensive. Again, thank you so much for the likes. 30 likes so far. That's not easy. If you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream, and let's again beef up the likes. Let's get it to 50 likes as soon as possible and shoot for 100 and even more. Yep, sorry to hear that again. My condolences to you and your entire family. Yep, thank you so much. That's very good of you, Tobago. I appreciate that. Again, I'm going back to Tobago again. It's Taboho, Tabaho. Thank you so much. And my brother from the Madiba line, Taboho, nice to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well. And whenever you can, Taboho, share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. So we move on from the topic of Denis Zakaria. Now, this is we go to Enzo, the man of the moment, Enzo Fernandez. He has changed his look so many times. Look here, he doesn't have any bit of curly hair. Currently, it isn't that Enzo. Some of them he has a curly hair. Some of them, again, he looks different in so many pictures. About 5 of them actually that I've seen. But we'll see what happens. Much appreciated, coach, and to the coolest chest. No worries, brother. That's why we're here. We're family. Again, as long as you let us know, we'll show you again how much we love you too. Again, we're humans. And if anybody have lost anybody, you know how, again, painful that can be. So Fabrizio Romano says Chelsea will push again in the next hours and days to sign Enzo Fernandez. Plan is to get him immediately, not in June. Deal depends on Benfica's decision. This first part, the first part of this report from Fabrizio Romano shows, I think Chelsea recognize the importance of making it into top 4. The importance of, again, the form changing, us having a strong enough squad to make it into top 4. Because if we're done, it will be very, very difficult to get into top 4, really. So yeah, I think they understand that. That's why they're pushing to bring in some of the new, again, the players we're looking at in January and not in June. In the case of Nkunku, I think they had to do it that way for Leipzig to sell him to us. But again, we'll move on. I hope Enzo comes in January. Enzo already accepted a Chelsea's contract bid, but again, he played. I said, never disrespect Benfica. So again, the smoke is too much, really. They say wherever there's smoke, there's fire. But this smoke is too much, really, that you could say there's a raising fire, really. For him, that second part, if you pay attention to it, he doesn't want to disrespect Benfica, which means he's bent on leaving. Probably have told them he wants to leave. The rumors are that, again, when the rumors were that he was starting on the bench or something, he wasn't going to start. But it turns out he didn't. Did he start? No, he played, but he didn't start. But again, it makes sense. The whole thing points that, again, he's leaving Benfica and that he's coming to us. But that's, by the way, we'll move on. It's a good sign here. We're pushing, and I hope he comes in January. What a player he is. Again, we're going to look at this comment from the Benfica manager in a bit. Let me try again. I'll try the best I can not to be far away again from what we have in the chat. Okay, yeah. Thank you, brother. You're very welcome. Please, again, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for doing so. Thank you so much in advance. Please keep liking the stream. If you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, the likes do go a long way. Let me just put up a poll quickly. The poll shows me how many people that are really participating. Just 1 second. I'll be back to the screen again. 1 second here. 1 second here. All right. Do you want Chelsea to sign? Just 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I'll be there. I'll be with you in a bit. All right, there you go. We have the poll. So what do we have here next? Again, we'll move on to the next topic on the screen. Let's go for it. Just give me 1 second. Yep, the likes are going up really, really quick, and that makes me very happy. 36 likes already. If you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. And Simon Phillips, a follow again, says Chelsea is the only team that is negotiating for Enzo Fernandez. There is still no full agreement, but the negotiation is advancing. The player is approaching the Premier League. So these are all good signs. Like I said, the smoke is too much. That there's no way you say it was just a smoke from, again, an oil on the stove. This is really fire. So in this case, again, we're really going to pull this one off. I think he will come to Chelsea Football Club. So that's really, really a good sign. I appreciate that. Some people are advocating for it to be Enzo and for us to get Declan Rice. That would make it better. Some people think otherwise. For me, again, I take Vanessa over Declan Rice. It's cheaper plus a better overall player. But maybe defensively, Declan Rice would be a better option. Here's from my friend Vince. He says that Chelsea are not only looking to sign Enzo Fernandez, but they also want Molina and McAllister. It looks like we want to sign the whole the Argentine World Cup squad. McAllister, does he play on the left and the right? Please remind me. I really want to know. Let me see. I'm gonna wait for your response. I want to know, McAllister, does he play on the left or on the right? I think on the right. What position here? How did I forget? Position. He's the one that plays at Brighton, right? Oh, no. Which of them is the right back? Okay, it's Molina who's the right back. McAllister is also a midfielder. Okay, and he is 20. Again, how old is he? Okay, yeah, but the point is, we won the whole Argentine squad. For me, Rice doesn't improve the team at all. Again, some people see it differently. I'd rather, again, but if you want a disciplined defensive midfielder, he's your man. But if you want, again, a complete midfielder who can also do the attacking beat of the whole thing, then he isn't your man, really. But that's, by the way, we move on from that. It just looked like Chelsea won the whole Argentine squad. No. If Chelsea can get Enzo, then McAllister is a second option. Yeah, we'll have the whole Argentine 11. Maybe again, if we're able to pull off that, given this again, a report here from Vince saying we're looking at McAllister and also Molina. Molina, I know, is right back. Is he? I think Molina is currently at Atletico Madrid. He played in Italy before, but in Atletico Madrid currently. Yeah, that would be like getting the whole squad. Maybe we should try Messi too, but I don't think it'd be easy. Maybe McAllister because he's played on the Grand Porter. Maybe that makes it easier. But we're looking at Molina. Yeah, we're looking at him. Yep, that's the truth. For the right hand side, and we're also looking at again. The rumors are we're going for Dumfries too. For how much? But we'll talk about him in a bit. Chelsea are not again old Havertz and Wally Waldo. I don't know if it's already New Year where you are, but if not, again, I hope again. I wish you a prosperous New Year in advance, brother. Thank you for all the love you've shown the channel and all the support. I appreciate that. Old Havertz says Chelsea are not paying the 120 million one lump. I think that's the reason for the delays. We want a structured payment where we get to pay one now, part of it later, part of it later. That way we won't get into trouble with FFP rules. Again, it's still have time to balance book after each payment. So it makes sense. We will be paid in installments over the next few years, but we'll pay in more than the release clause. That's the deal. That's how we're getting them to pay attention to it. Basit Abdul, I hope you're doing well. And Old Havertz, I hope you're enjoying the festive period. The Chelsea Fund media rush too much. If you have not get any correct fact that you're going to sign, player, don't bring it out. Just keep it to yourself unless it's official. Here's the thing. I don't think I don't think again the club are the ones that tell these journalists that we're trying to sign a particular player. They have their sources. They have the networks to even tell each other, look at what's going on. Again, the club try as much as they can to keep it secret, but usually no, it becomes public. And so how that happens, I don't know. But again, they have network of journalists, of insiders who give them information on what's going on. At whatever club they're looking to get information from. So yeah, it's really not the club. But I get your your concern about that. It can never be that again. It cannot be hidden forever. Even if you find a way to keep it secret, at one point it just leaks and it's everywhere. Yeah. But that's, by the way, again, McAllister playing again. Okay. Attacking midfielder. Okay, central midfielder and a DM too. Very versatile. So again, it depends on what the club wants. Again, getting McAllister, he's made some, again, you could say flattering comments or jokingly talked about, again, Graham Potter. I think Graham Potter helped him become the player he is today. Hopefully he would want to join us if we really want him. But then again, we'll have to pay attention to what that does to the relationship, good relationship we have with Brighton. But let me see again his contract, because that comes into play. If a player is about to leave a club, if the club would again, and if they're not willing to renew, then the club only viable option would be to sell the player. So if that's the case with Allister, Chelsea saying, okay, we can buy him in January wouldn't be an issue. They'd see as Chelsea as having themselves the situation whereby the player don't get to leave on a free. So Allister transfer market. Let me see the length of his current contract. Just quickly, why again? I'll do this. I'll look at it in a bit again. This says if Chelsea can get Enzo, then McAllister is the second option. Yep, I think I've said that. McAllister natural position, attacking midfielder. Okay, 120 mil is too much of a Fernandez. And that's because we want him now. If we can wait till again June or to the summer transfer window, he'd come for cheap. But the problem is at that point, many again other clubs that want him, but because again they've spent money on other players, and coming for Enzo this January would mean that they get into trouble with FFP rules. They'd have the opportunity to come then because the price would be nearly the half. So we're trying to get him now that only us that were capable of getting him. That's why you're hearing that we're the only club actually negotiating to secure his signature. Yeah, so it's not like we just want to pay that, but we can't do otherwise if we really want to get him. Prince Moaz says get right back Juranovic or Walker Peters. Walker Peters, not really. I think we saw flashes of that. Except for getting him to be a backup, which I don't like. I want a player that again, when you get the player to the club, Reece will become even better, and the player that we question will become even better. They push each other, they rotate. But if need be, again, when we get to pick whoever that's in a better form. But we shouldn't be going for players when Reece isn't playing, and that player in particular comes in for Reece, the quality drops. So to me, I want us to move beyond again getting backups, but getting competition for the players, for the best players we have at the club. If that makes any sort of sense to you. Just give me 1 second. It looks like my screen is freezing right now. I don't like that happening. But that's by the way. Here we have again Prince Walker Peters much better. Really, if that's how you see it. Problem is McAllister was still cost a lot of money. How well again he's played at the World Cup. Yeah, World Cup tax like Glenn called it. And World Cup hype. World Cup tax, and plus they won the World Cup. Yeah, so yeah, that makes a whole lot of difference. This is actually what's slowing down my screen here, but I really want to look at it. So for McAllister here, 1 second here, his contract runs until 2025. So next year he'd have 2 years left on his contract. So if he's refusing to extend, then Brighton may well be pushed. Again, I may not have again any other option than to sell him because they wouldn't want to lose him on a free. He said they have again that sort of clause where when he has 2 years left or a year left, they trigger the extension. So let's see what happens. And he is, how old is he? 24. He's still very, very young, really. Though I think he would want to come to Chelsea. I think he would want to, but the question is, how much Brighton will be willing to sell him for. Let's see what we have here again. I try and do it like the Nkunku deal. To be honest, pay now, let him finish the season at his current club, and bring him in the summer. I think we could do that because you can say, but how about this Wally World? If we're being honest, I think we have a problem in the area that he comes in and plays for us. So it wouldn't make any sort of sense to extend again the time at which he comes to us to say okay, he stays there and come to us in the summer. I don't think it would make any sort of sense because I think we need him now. It's important that we make it into top four. If we don't, we'll find it very difficult to sign big name players again in the summer. So, but let's see what happens. Pedro Porro. So again, let me see. Again, he's not a player I know that too well. Again, tell us why you really want us to sign him. I don't know him. I don't remember the name. Okay, let's see. Okay, he plays for what club is this? I will research him to see since you're suggesting him. I don't know him too well, I have to be honest. Amrabat is a good DM. Amrabat is good. Like me, if you ask me, here's the list of those players we're looking at to come out to the club as DM. I'll give you again how I rate them in this order. The first one, the first player for me, number one player for me, what's his name is Ismail Benessa, then Amrabat number two, then the American international. Again, any other person comes fourth, really. If we're talking a player who's can traditionally would protect the defense quite well, those are the guys. But you can say again, for Benessa, he's a hybrid of that. He's capable of fulfilling the coverage role. He's also capable of being a disciplined player. It depends on the demands of the manager, and it's not just going to be a basic DM for you. He'd be able to find solutions in tight spaces. Again, he's got good vision, good goal score. Again, he can finish quite well on this day, and I don't expect his assist numbers to be high, but he's a more complete player for me than all the players we've been looking at to come play again in the DM role for us. Even Alvarez, the Mexican international. But yeah, we all see things from different lenses. Good morning, my beautiful Chelsea family. Good morning to you too, Jamport Entertainment. Again, I hope you're enjoying the festive period. Thank you so much. And Luigi Pellegrini, it's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Enzo Fernandez is coming in for 10 years, not the short term by what? Where did you hear that from? 10 years. I don't think that's possible, really. Can you explain? I really want to know. 10 what? Are you serious? Are you serious right now? Again, just quickly, we have 70 people watching and we have just 44 likes. We should be doing better than that, people. Come on, beef up the likes. And the poll which asks the question, do you want, I missed a T there. Do you want Chelsea to sign Declan Rice? 72% says yes, he will make us better. And 28% says no, he's overhyped. Okay, again, and I can tell you, I know where each person that says what, a majority of those that says yes probably are English, or again, a majority of those that says no, probably not English. But I understand. That's not me saying. For me, I don't think Rice is a solution, but I think he will. Again, he's a good player. Except we're signing him to just be that man there that sacrifices his place, stays disciplined all the time for all the players to get the job done. Fine. But if we want a player that would do even more for us, I don't think he's the man. But we'll see. He is proven in midfield and will replace Akante and Jorginho as DM. I'd also like to add Jude Bellingham. Yeah, how much in total? Although I'm hearing that again, we're still serious about securing the signature of Jude Bellingham, but it's not going to be easy. He's a Liverpool boy plus Real Madrid are interested, and it's not going to leave in January. He will be leaving. Again, if anything, he'll stay. Again, he'll leave in. If anything, he'll leave in the summer, but we don't know for how much yet. And I'm going to have to look at his again. I'm going to have to look at his contract to see the length of his current contract. I looked at Jude Bellingham's numbers the other day, and again, I was really impressed. Really, I think he's done well for himself. But I don't think it's possible for this to be a 10-year contract. This is more like enslaving the player, really. Even if we're paying 200 million, I haven't seen that happen before. Neymar Jr., which Paris Saint-Germain paid 222 million euros. I don't think it's the length of the contract was up to 8 years. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't remember quite well. But that's, by the way, guys, 47 likes. Keep liking the video. Let's get it to 50 or 60 as soon as possible. Thank you so much. It's been an enjoyable show thus far, and I hope you're enjoying it. I say it again, 4-2-3-1 is our solution. Now we have Datro Fofana. 4-2. The question is Datro Fofana, Prince Moaz. Hopefully he gets a work permit because we need them. We have Armando Broya out, so we need an attacker. Again, Aubameyang isn't that quick and will struggle to press very well in there. Again, if we need a pressing number 9. Dr. Fofana is a fine player. He can participate. He can be part of a fluid front line. He can also, again, implement the role as a traditional number 9. He's that gifted. I said 4-2-3-1 again. 4-2-3-1. Also, I love that formation very well. I have to be honest with you. I think every time we've deployed that formation, we've done quite well. And with that structure, we get to have what you could have, call it a central attacking midfielder, or a 10 if you prefer, given the structure where you have 3 behind the number 1, which is a striker. It can still be fluid. It can still be a fluid 4. Like we saw the last time we played again in the game against during the game against Bournemouth. But we'll see what Graham Potter does. Smash the like button, guys, and help us reach 100 likes today. Yep, we've done that in 2 consecutive days, and I believe we can also do it today. So please keep liking the video and also subscribe to the channel if you havenent. Thank you so much for all the support. I sincerely do appreciate that. Polyp 256 says, is it really true that we're trying to hijack Arsenal again? Mykhailo Mudryk. We get to talk that in a bit. I think it is true, really, because he's a fine player. We have wingers, but our wingers, you can say, they haven't been producing consistently. Again, some of them are players who sometimes, again, they play as 10, they play as wing backs, but they're not. You could say they're not that wingers with something special. But Mudryk is. Since we lost Pedro and William, you can say we haven't had any winger at the club that can measure the level at which those 2 players performed for Chelsea Football Club. But Mudryk can measure them and even do better than them. He has the potential to do that. So if anything, if we're going to hijack any transfer, Mudryk is the one I'd like us to really hijack. What an exceptional player he is, really. And then we will look at his numbers in a bit. So we'll talk about him in a bit. Don't go anywhere. Sporting CP, yes. Thank you so much. That's the jersey I was looking at. Here again, I don't see Enzo staying at Chelsea till he is 31. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a 10-year contract. Again, but him, whether he stays at Chelsea depends on how well we do. If we're being honest, whether he stays at Chelsea Football Club depends on how well we do. If he joins us and we start again firing on all cylinders, win the Premier League, win let's say win the quadruple, or maybe win the FA Cup, win one more cup, win the Champions League, do that the same year, I think as long as we're doing well, he stays. But if at any time we start faltering so bad, he'll be looking to join. He'll be looking to join again a club where he continue winning. It's as simple as that. But again, I know we'll tie him down for a long time, but I don't see it being a 10-year contract. That is more like enslaving the play. It doesn't make any sort of sense. 54 likes, people. You guys are absolute legends, and I appreciate you. I appreciate that so much. Portuguese league, yeah, that's true. Josie Agbo, my Niger brother, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Good afternoon, Coach. Happy New Year in advance. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you too in advance. I hope you're enjoying the festive period. You guys don't know how much I enjoy reading this, except when it's too much. Sometimes I just have to slow down. I don't believe Rice is a player for the job. I don't believe that either. Yes, Louis, Man City bought Jack Grealish for 100 million. Pep said he's coming in for 10 years plus because he is 21. But what's the length of on his contract? It's clear we want to buy England starting 11, if you want to say it like that. Good morning from Jamaica. Thank you so much, my brother Wagwan. I hope you're doing well. Pepper CFC. Rice tackles too. Having DM like Rice and Kante who can defend, tackle, intercept, doesn't overwork defenders like having Jorginho who just passes but cannot defend. Opponents penetrate our midfield easily, says Ronnie Rex. Yes, then I know when that you could say the agenda for Chelsea to sign Declan Rice, again, when it was, you could say when it was introduced or when it became a thing, I think it was a year ago or two, some people were actually suggesting playing him with Kante on the pitch. Whereas it is clear that they're not like for like in terms of their style of play. I think that would take away something from our game. Really, I think we'd struggle to control games if two of them starts in a pivot. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to play them together. But we'll see again what the club does. Pedro Porro plays for Sporting between coach. Okay, thank you so much for that information and how good he is he? But Chelsea wanted to buy Enzo. An installment says like again for 25 millions because of balance and fair play. Yeah, it makes sense. Again, and that's how again the better way to approach it so not to get into trouble. Looks as if Potter and Bowley is using team to make England international team for the next World Cup. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. 4-2-3-1 is an Italy use of formation. To me, it's an excellent formation, really. I've liked it at the times. I enjoyed it. I fell in love with the 4-2-3-1 structure. The game against, I think it was Wolves. It was just brilliant. Again, the interplays. Every player, again, was excellent on the day. Yeah, I love it so much. But I didn't know, again, its origin was Italy, really. 4-2-3-1 is the best formation for us. It is really. I will sign Mudryk 100 times. Fantastic player, can take any defender on. If you see him, you will see again. You're looking at a player that's he's one player again. I really do want him at Chelsea Football Club. I hope we'll get him. But let's see what the club does really. But that's by the way. We'll move on to what we have to talk about next. We'll soon talk about Mudryk. So calm down. 4-2-3-1 works efficiently if we deploy the right players, coach. That's the truth. Priestley Chidi, Chidi One Nedalo, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. It depends again where you deploy the players. You have again a natural 10 because you can say you need wingers, so you have natural wingers. I think yeah, it can be executed to its fullest potential because it's a good structure really. Ruben Neves is the best player for Chelsea, and I will keep up preaching it. Hopefully they hear you and look at it and consider it. And to my brother again, Nee from Blue Clouds Media. Good morning at Chelsea Perspective and every lovely person out there. Yeah, what a delicious thing to say. If you're watching, if you haven't, please take a second. I don't know how nicely to say it, so you pay attention. Drop a like on the stream, people. Come on, we can do better than that. The likes do go a long way. The more you like the stream, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the more, again, the stream will be pushed, the more people will be interested in the topics we have lined up. That way, again, it will be fun here because we have quite a lot of people. And Nee, whenever you find time, please do share the links to your the link to your channel so people can go check it out. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Again, he would upgrade our midfield. Again, we're not looking at him. Let's see what happens there. Again, I'm going to end this poll because I want to let me leave it for a while. 55 votes. I think it can get more votes. So if you're watching, people, we still have 50 people watching. We had 80, we had 70. If you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So like I said, this one simply means, again, we're looking to sign all the Argentine World Cup 11. Yeah, and that's something serious. So let's talk about Mykhailo Mudryk. Again, before we do that, I want to talk about Badiashile. I'm not sure where we're at with that deal at this point. I'm not sure what's going on. We haven't heard much for a few days now, but the rumors are we are in advanced talk with Monaco, and we're wrapping up that deal. So I'm not sure why we haven't heard anything new. Plus, the talks were that he started on the bench the last time Monaco played, and what's his name? The guy we loaned to Monaco started in his place. That's probably because he's on the verge of leaving the club. So we're not sure. I'm not sure if that was really the case, but I don't know why we haven't heard anything. If you're in the chat, if you've heard anything regarding Chelsea's pursuit of Badiashile, please do let me know. I really would like to know. So now let's talk about, again, Mudryk, Mykhailo Mudryk. What a player he is. I'm even surprised, again, that Arsenal were the ones looking at him. Malang Sarr, yeah, thank you so much, Wally Wado. Malang Sarr, that's the guy I was, again, looking for. Here, again, Coach, any news on Kante? What we heard the other day is that he's most likely to remain at the club than leave, that he's happy, he loves Chelsea and would want to continue at the club. plus that the club are making progress in finding solution to his contract situation. But that's, by the way, again, for Mykhailo Mudryk. Again, I'm not for clubs hijacking players from other clubs. This is one player I would want us to hijack, really. He's a fine player. Again, like I said before, if you watch him, you see, again, you recognize you're looking at a player who's oozing with confidence, taking on players, 2-3 players, again, creating a lot of chances. He's just so delicious to watch, really. Again, that I'm not surprised that we're hearing that we want to hijack the deal. I hope that's the truth. I hope that that's the truth because, again, he's the best at all the wingers we have at the club. He has pace. Again, he can be physical. He's a good dribbler. He's good on the ball, close control. Again, has good vision in terms of creating chances. He can also, again, in most cases, you see him drift centrally, supporting the play. I think he's just he's one player that I really would want us to sign. If we don't get him if Arsenal gets him, you can say with him alone, adding this guy alone to the team, I honestly they'd be capable of winning the league really because Mudryk. Let me find out his age here because Mudryk is such a fine player. Let me see. And you can say, again, Arsenal knows, getting Mudryk alone, he's just 21. Oh, my gosh. I think this is the player we should be looking at. He is just 21. He's this player, again, go look at his highlights. Again, even if you've watched Shakhtar Donetsk play before, you'd know how good he is, really. This is not like a World Cup hype or anything. We knew already, again, from time, I think during the summer, a lot of Chelsea fans were calling for the club to go look at him. He is that good. I think that's one player. Mykhailo Mudryk is one player Chelsea should try and get. He is just 21. Again, and if we're talking about building, again, a project for the future, we shouldn't miss out on Mudryk, really. Let's hijack him. Let's hijack Mudryk. Listen, there's that talk, again, a few days ago, Fabrizio Romano saying that Arsenal's focus is to sign Mykhailo Mudryk. Why do you think that is? That's because they know how good he is. That's because adding Mykhailo Mudryk alone to the team, they're capable of winning the league, really. That was when, again, the question came up why they're not looking at Enzo Fernandez. They're not serious about him because the guy they know that will make a difference for them is Mykhailo Mudryk. But we need them both because we have issues. We have issues in the midfield area, but we still have issues in our wingers, really. They suck sometimes. This guy is that guy. He oozes with, again, high confidence, brilliant dribble. He's a brilliant passer of the ball, good vision. Again, he's a good goal scorer too. Fine finishes and finishes. His finish, again, overall, he's such an intelligent player. If you've seen his finishes is the sort of finishes I like to see from players. His finishes aren't about power, but placement mainly. I think this is the guy we need to get. Pace, he has it. Again, I can't sing him praises enough, really. And thank you for bringing that up. I think that's the guy we need to get, really. Let's see, again, Sir. Please, again, take a look at my YouTube channel. It says, again, Jumpbot Entertainment. Help me expose our underdog football talent. Yes, please, if you haven't, go check out Jumpbot Entertainment just to support his cause. He's doing, again, a lot of good work to keep the youth busy in Jamaica, and that does go a long way. Something I've done myself. Again, it helps keep them busy. Football is such, again, you could say a very powerful a very powerful thing, really. It can keep them, again, away from trouble, doing drugs and all of that. So it's, again, go support him, subscribe, again, and let him know I sent you. How old is Mudryk? Yeah, you asked this question. I saw it on the other screen, but I wasn't on the highlight screen yet. 21, just 21-year-old. I think that's one player we shouldn't miss at all. Again, thank you guys. Yeah, there you go again. We have 62 votes and just 58 likes. It doesn't make any sort of sense. At least it should measure. If you haven't taken a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for doing that. I think Arsenal wants him for the link-up play with Zinchenko, both Ukrainian. Not again, yeah, but again, he plays at Shakhtar Donetsk without Zinchenko. But I think he brings out the best in Zinchenko also. But this guy, excuse me, I still have a bit of cough. Sometimes my throat itches. I had to mute myself to cough it out. This guy is something special, really. Wow. If we can get him, I think we're set in again, at least on the left hand side for a while. Again, I think his right leg is again predominant leg, but he stays on the left hand side. But mainly, from what I've seen so far, oh my gosh, I cry if we miss out on this one. Arsenal had an opening bid of around 40 million euros for Mykhailo Mudryk, and but Shakhtar Donetsk, they made it clear they're not accepting anything less than 60 plus a million euros. I think we can go in and get him. I think let's see what happens there. But he's one player I'd like to see at Chelsea, really. I wouldn't mind us getting him and forgetting Moises Caicedo. I'm serious about that. But that's, by the way, we'll move on again. And let's look at his numbers. I really want us to look at his numbers. Where do I have it? I think it's this one here. Yep, there you go. Mykhailo Mudryk, his statistics for Shakhtar Donetsk this season, 12 matches, 7 goals. I want you to be seeing it too. Look at it. This season, he's played 7 matches in 2023, 2022, 2023, 12 matches, again, 7 goals, 7 assists. Last season, I don't know why he played just 11 games last season. Does he have injury issue? Or maybe how old? Probably how old he was then, probably when he was still being eased into the team gradually. So it makes sense because last year he still be 20. The two years before he still be 19, 18. So he didn't play too many games that day. But look at it again, 2021, 3 games, no goals, no assists. So probably that was when he made it into the first team and played just 3 games. In 2021, 2022, 11 matches. Oh my goodness. 11 matches, he scored 2 goals, 6 assists. So here's the most powerful thing about Mudryk here. And again, it makes sense why Arsenal says, again, why they're saying that the focus at the point is Mudryk, that they're not interested in Enzo Fernandez or any other player, that the focus is to get in Mudryk. This guy is good enough, like I said before, Mudryk is good enough to help Arsenal, again, to make them, again, the runaway champions. They're doing quite well alone, again, even without having a winger as skillful and has, again, the number of assists Mudryk is showing, and as confident as him, and as, again, as good as a dribbler as he is. Look how well Arsenal is doing. So they know what they're doing to say the focus at the moment is Mudryk and not Enzo Fernandez or any other player. So I'm not surprised. Look at this. 11 games, he scored 2 goals, 6 assists, really. And this is aspect. Remember, I told you he can be physical, he can be feisty too. He has that, you can say, that aggression that you need in a player to do well in the Premier League. Look at this, 3 yellow cards in 12 games. That shows you he's a fighter. It doesn't, again, look at this. 12 games, 7 goals, 7 assists. That is just brilliant, really. That is just brilliant. Let's look at his Ukraine numbers. He hasn't played too much of the Ukraine national team for, okay, World Cup. Qualifiers, 2 matches, again, a 1 yellow card and all that. But again, this is the player I really do want Chelsea to get right now. Let's hijack it again, hijack that deal and get it done already. So people, again, we have 60, how many there? 68 people, participants, votes on the poll, and we have just 60 likes. We should be doing better than that. If you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. If you're in the chat, let me know what you think about Mudryk, really. He's an excellent player. If anything, as much as I hate hijacking deals from other clubs, but this one, I really want us to hijack that. He's a player that is, if you're talking about any player that's worth 100 million, I think he is one, given his numbers. Look at that. Last year, 7 games. How many? Again, let's look at it again. This is so, again, important to look at it. Again, and last year, he was just 20. 11 games, 2 assists, 2 goals, 6 assists. This is where I'm paying attention mainly. This year, 12 games, 7 assists, 7 goals, 7 assists. There's nothing more to ask for a player of his age, really, and he's still just 21. Modric reminds me of a young Yamalenko, to be honest. Yamalenko was really good at the age. Oh, again, I really love, again, I love this guy, really. Let's get him. Coach, is Al Nassr signed Ronaldo? Yeah, I think they've signed him. How much per year? I don't remember, but it's something that you haven't heard in football before, which was why, again, he probably decided to go there. Chelsea Mykhailo Fernandez. Where are they? Again, you can say that one is close, and I'm looking at my update screen. If I see anything new, we will talk about it. If Mudryk comes to Chelsea, then I think Pulisic or Ziyech will end up leaving. I think one of them will end up leaving, and most likely, I'd say, yeah, I'd say Ziyech will be the most likely player to make way. Because in the case of Pulisic, no matter how you see it, if for being honest, Pulisic is more than just a footballer for Chelsea Football Club. His business. It's again the American market is huge, and I don't think the club would want to lose him. He's a poster boy of football in America. So I think the club, Graham Potter, I think the club's hierarchy and Graham Potter will have a conversation. Plus, Pulisic is a good player overall, so it wouldn't be bad to try to accommodate him, give him again consistent game time to see for him to regain his best form. So yeah, I think Hakim Ziyech is the most likely, given that he pushed to leave during the summer transfer window and even hopped on a flight after a game. That was after the loss to. After the loss to Leeds United. He traveled to Ajax Amsterdam as he tried to push for a move. So again, and plus the subsequent games he played for the club after that, when he was on the pitch, it seemed as if he was disinterested and when wanted. Okay, just picking out some stuff there, some updates on the screen that we'll talk about in a bit. So again, it seemed as if he'd already left the club. That his mind isn't at the club anymore. So yeah, I think if anybody, Ziyech will be the one, but Pulisic can still come good. He's a fine player, and it looks like he's found a way to manage his fitness. But that's, by the way, if you're in the chat, let me know what you think about the possibility of Chelsea Football Club signing again. Signing Mykhailo Mudryk. What a player he is. And an update from Absolute Charles saying, let me see, I think I have to put up this one on my screen. Just give me a second here so we'll look at it together. I have my update screen open and I'll be looking for updates. And if I see anything, I will share it with you immediately. And thank you guys for 62 likes. But it doesn't make any sort of sense because we have 74 votes. Yeah, in the poll, which means 74 people has already participated in the poll. If you're watching, if you haven't, please do take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I want to say thank you to those of you who are watching. And also, but again, don't feel like participating in the chat. Believe me, you provide a value also to the stream and to the channel because you watching, again, it counts as views. So those, again, that does go a long way in itself. So thank you for watching. But if you can, even if you don't want to participate in the chat, if you can, we'd really appreciate it if you can take a second to drop a like on the stream. The likes do go a long way. The likes can triggers the YouTube algorithm, which in turn pushes the stream to people who would be interested in the topics we have lined up. But that's, by the way, we'll move on here. Yeah, again, in the case of this guy here, hopefully we get to sign him. I really would like to see him at Chelsea Football Club. So let's see what else we have to talk about here. I think I have an update on my screen, and I'm going to try to put it up on the topic screen there. Let's go for it here. Just give me 1 second. And if you have any update, if you see anything you want us to talk about, please do share it with me. I'm still looking at my screen. If I find any new updates from my update screen, be rest assured that we'll talk about it. Okay, nothing new here, but again, the new one I just put up, I'm waiting for it to show fully so we can continue talking about it here. Just give me 1 second. Let's see. It says again, Mudryk will join Chelsea. You think if it happens, I'll take it. And Social Joins says again, Shakhtar, he's laughing out loud. Shakhtar looking for price hike. He wants Arsenal. The whole thing comes down to how much you're willing to pay. I know again there are again there's this talk that he wants Arsenal. Yep. Again, yeah. But if Chelsea comes in, it can speak with him and promise to pay him even more than Arsenal will be willing to pay. He comes to Chelsea. It's about money. And if Arsenal cannot pay Shakhtar Donetsk how much they're asking, I don't think again he goes to Arsenal. It's about again the highest bidder takes a price. It's as simple as that. Takes a price or buys a product. I think if the better way to phrase it. So I don't really see this being an issue. But that's by the way. I'm going to bring in Bobby. Bobby, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I'm going to show you everything that we've talked about regarding Enzo Fernandez. To me, which I said again, to me is a lot of smoke. It's quite a lot of smoke that you can't argue otherwise in terms of again where we're at with the whole thing. I think it's happening really. Probably negotiations end that simple because this is a big deal. We're paying something not of 100 million euros. Maybe they're trying to iron out the payment structure, what it's going to be like, because they get more money if they sell him to us because we're willing to pay more as long as they accept the payment structure that we're proposing. So yeah, just 1 second. Let me see. So if you look at this, this is from Fabrizio Romano, which says Chelsea will push again in the next hours and days to sign Enzo Fernandez. Plan is to get him immediately, not in June. Deal depends on Benfica's decision, which when we read this, I highlighted the importance. The plan is to get him now, which means the club recognizes we need again to you can say fortify our squad with good players such as Enzo to make us better. Here it says Enzo already accepted Chelsea's contract bid, but he played as he'd never disrespected Benfica. So the language being used here shows like again this player Enzo is coming to us. Benfica manager Smith on the Enzo Fernandez deal. I don't know if this was Enzo's last match. He's a fantastic player. Sometimes in football, things happen and players have to make a decision. We will see what happens. Again, he gave it away here. The language is using from here to here. This one is just not to come out open and say he's leaving. But from everything we're seeing so far, it looks like Enzo is really leaving. Chelsea, again, more importantly here, Chelsea is the only team that is negotiating for Enzo Fernandez. There is still no full agreement, but the negotiation is advancing. The player is approaching the Premier League. So that, again, another giveaway there. So everything we're seeing there, the smoke is really too much to say he isn't coming to Chelsea. So, Bobby, your thoughts, everything we just looked at, all the updates there, the reports from Fabrizio Romano, I think the other one, not Vince really, who was the next person? Fabrizio Romano, and this one from Simon Phillips. All show I think we're making good progress, and the player will be coming to us. So your thoughts? All right, looks like I've lost Bobby again. So again, I'm seeing some updates here that I really do want to share. Let me see. Let me open the update and I'll share it. If Bobby comes in, fine. If not, we'll move on. But let me see. We have something in the chat here to read. It looks like it's an update. Just give me 1 second. I want to do this quickly. I think my screen is giving me a problem with beats. Just give me 1 second here. This one here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, again, like I said, I think I'm going to say this again. The numbers, the Mykhailo Mudryk numbers is something out of this world. And like I said, no wonder why Arsenal are focusing on him and not anyone else. I'm not surprised. Again, people, thank you for likes. But again, I will compare that to the 81 votes. To me, I think we should have something at least 70. We should have at least 70 likes, but we're at 65. That's not bad. Again, we need how many more to get it to 100? That's 45. 35 to get it to 100, and we can get there only if you want us to get there. So please, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I've read that one. Again, social joins. Are you an Arsenal fan? If you are, we have a sister channel called Soccer Perspective. There we cover every football club, not just Chelsea. But again, welcome to the channel. Even again, if you enjoying the show, thank you so much. Please make sure to drop a like on the stream. Players, again, it still has to agree to sign. You cannot force players. Yeah, that's the truth. All parties have to come to an agreement. You can't force a player to go where they want to go. And I thank you for, again, highlighting that. It makes a perfect sense. Bobby says, I cannot hear you on the chat. Okay, yeah, I think the issue may be your device, really, just like the same problem you had the last time. What something is freezing my screen here. Just a perspective, I agree with you. Mudryk would be a fantastic signing for the club, but how many players would the club let go for him? One. You can say one again. Like we've talked about, one already. You can say Hakim Ziyech. You can say who'd already he's made up his mind to leave the club. If we're being honest, hopped on a plane after our loss, that awful loss against Leeds United, and traveled to Ajax Amsterdam, trying to orchestrate a move. And to be fair to him wanting to leave Chelsea was how badly Thomas Tuchel treated him. If we're being honest. Plus, when he got the chance to play under Graham Potter, he looked disinterested. Although, again, off the bench, he still again, I don't think he'd be happy coming off the bench because he feels like probably better than the players that were starting then. There are games where Raheem Sterling started. You'd argue that had it been again, what's his name, Hakim Ziyech in its place, he'd do better than Raheem Sterling did. It's as simple as that. But that's, by the way, to me, I think he's made up his mind to leave. He wanted to join AC Milan. And we're hearing the only issue actually is his salary. So to me, if anybody will make way, will be Hakim Ziyech. Only one player we have to leave, let go. But Mudryk is the guy, really. Honestly, he's the guy. We have to get him this season. We have to hijack that deal, pay more money. If you pay 120 for him, I take it. It's worth it, really, if you paid attention to his numbers and again to how well he plays whenever he's on the pitch. Enzo is most a realistic buy for Chelsea or for Arsenal. What club in particular? Again, for me, he's the buy that will make more sense for us right now. Enzo is again more realistic, but if we can get Mudryk and add that to our team, will be something special. But believe me, if Arsenal gets Mykhailo Mudryk, they are winning the league. Just remember, I told you that. 4-3-3 with Rice, Fernandez, and Mount sounds good. Our team needs a lot of personnel change during the next 2 years. We do, but it has to be a gradual process. I understand that some of the players at the club, again, has been so poor. The inconsistency is really concerning. But there's an argument, really, which suggests the lack of consistency boils down to players not being, again, consistently at a particular position, and the change in personnel every now and then. As much as rotation is key to keeping the players, again, fit, rotation can be detrimental to new players, again, to players developing chemistry. And we had a lot of new players then. Again, you can say, since we had Kai Havertz and all the players we signed, there's never been a time where, again, a lot of them played consistently together to say they played together enough to have good chemistry between them. It's all every now and then one drops to the bench, another one comes in place. Again, but I get your point. 4-3-3 is a good idea. Rice can also play centrally, again, as a disciplined player there, while others bump forward and do the work. But I think I see Graham Potter going for a 4-2-3-1 approach. He's done that in the past, and I think he prefers that. Which again, his 4-2-3-1 approach, he usually sets it up in a manner that, again, he's able to facilitate a hybrid approach in game, where you see us with a 3 at the back when we attack. So you have 2 more players in the form of wing backs supporting the attack. But when we defend, it becomes a flat back for more people to defend. Yeah, so he likes that, and he's done that severally to show at least that's something we know, even though he's very unpredictable. But I think at least for sure he likes a hybrid approach in terms of structure. Yeah, I hate that. Okay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Social joins. And your name is delicious, really. Everyone gets a run into the ground next to Jorginho. Yeah, but you need that variety. You don't need to players who traditionally are defensively minded. The team will miss something. For instance, we've always again enjoyed seeing N'Golo Kante, again a pairing of N'Golo Kante and Jorginho where, yeah, N'Golo Kante does all the work, but Jorginho helps us control the game. He's that player, again, because he's traditionally register. He senses when, again, there's a need for us to slow down the game a bit. He senses when there's a need for us to play quicker, and he's able to do that. So you need, again, even if we don't have Jorginho, we don't need two players who are just traditionally defensively minded. We need a mashup of players who can, again, one of them should be a hybrid of 8 and 6, just like Kovacic does. If you play like for like defensively minded in a two double pivot role, we're not going to be able to control the game. If that makes any sort of sense to you. So Bobby, coming back to you, I'm sure. I don't know if you were listening to all the stuff I read regarding Enzo Fernandez. The one that, again, we'll continue pushing in the next hour and the next days. And the player himself, he has said yes to us. And the player has also told Benfica he wants to join Chelsea. There are other stuff. Again, I have a few stuff on the screen that are open in a bit. To me, that's a sign, really, that this is happening. It's, again, there's too much smoke. That, again, we have to just come out and say, yeah, fire. The fire is burning, and this is not a smoke from an oil on the stove. So, Bobby, your thoughts on the deal? If you've heard anything differently, please educate us.
Yeah, like the deal, as far as I can see, is progressing, and it looks likely, very likely. It's an important deal for Chelsea. I think it's part, and I use that word, and underline the word. It is part of what we need. Chelsea fans thinking that getting Enzo Fernandez will be the total solution to problems in midfield are highly mistaken. He is an important acquisition, a major acquisition, but he's only part of the solution. He needs a stalwart beside him. He needs a rugged, tough, strong player beside him. He's not a shrinking violet, but he's not the biggest, and we know what the Premier League is like. So it's a very, very important deal to go for, and it looks on track, to be honest. It does.
Yeah, indeed it is. Plus, I got to give credit to Todd Bowley and Co. They've developed, you could say, a very effective strategy. Look at let's start if talking about the Enzo. What we've heard that we're offering Enzo to get Enzo. It's very, again, these guys are so smart. They know, again, FFP will sometimes become an issue if we just keep spending without being strategic about it. That's why they come up with the idea of paying you more, but again, suggesting giving you the length of time they want to be able to pay off that money, which gives them the space to balance the book after each payment. So because if we pay in bulk, it'd be difficult to balance the book. It might well lead to us needing to sell some players because, yeah, we need to balance the book just like Inter wanted to do. So yeah, I think it's happening. It's going to happen. And Bobby, we talked about this again. You haven't. I think you weren't here when we talked about Mudryk, Arsenal, and Bobby. Let's look at his number first before we go into talking about him in detail. Again, we're talking about Mykhailo Mudryk. That's again. Is it what's his country again? Oh my goodness!
Ukraine.
I'm going blank this morning.
Ukraine.
But look at his numbers here. He's from the same country as Zichenko.
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah. So he's Ukrainian. But Bobby, look at him, and he's 21. He's just 21. If you're looking at the screen, Bobby, look at his numbers. I want this because this will help you understand why I'm so raved, why I'm so happy and so gassed that we're looking to hijack it. And I'm looking at some reports on my, again, a little update screen here, which says we're ready to hijack Arsenal's move to sign 85 million pounds star. Reports again, yeah, we're serious about hijacking the deal. Bobby, he's 21 here now, which means in 2021, 2022, he was just 20. And then in that year, he scored 2 goals in 11 games and assisted 6 goals. That is just excellent, Bobby. And he played less in 2020, 2021 because probably he was with the youth team then. It was probably 19, the previous year 18. Then 2022, 2023, Bobby, 7 matches. Again, in 12 matches, 7 goals, 7 assists. And when I saw this, I said, no wonder, because Arsenal, they say, no, we don't want Enzo Fernandez. We don't want any other player. According to Fabrizio Romano, our focus right now is Mykhailo Mudryk. Because believe me, if this guy joins them, they're capable of winning the league, really. And if you see him play, Bobby, he's so confident. He's finishing. He has pace, dribbling ability, great vision, and not too selfish. So, Bobby, your thoughts on the fact that we're trying to hijack again? We're ready to actually, right now, the reports has changed from looking to that we're ready to hijack the deal. I really would like us to hijack this one. Bobby, your thoughts? And he's just 21.
You know, when you talk about hijacking a deal, you know,
Mhm.
it's not something that I have very much confidence in. You know, look at the Rafinha situation, although we dodged a bullet there, but you know, the Rafinha deal was hijacked by Arsenal, then we hijacked Arsenal, then Barcelona hijacked it back. You know, once you get into a deal that's in process, it's not certain. It's nice from what I hear about him. You know, I hear he's really worth it. Is it a toss-up between him and João Felix? Because they sound quite similar to me.
Felix
Perhaps
plays centrally. This guy is a winger.
can't Felix go to the wing? I've often seen him play to the wings.
Yeah, but
You know, I
he's
don't
better
know.
centrally. Yeah, but go ahead.
I don't know. You know, I can't pretend to know much, if anything, about this guy. You know, so I just hear he's good and I take people's word for it. I've seen a few clips and he seems very good. And if Arsenal are pursuing him, they know a good deal, they know a good player, so he must be good. Is he worth a hijack? Yeah, if it's possible. You know, when you talk of hijacks, you talk of, well, is it possible? Um, I don't know. It depends how far down the line the negotiations with Arsenal
Yeah, I can
have
update you on
gone.
that if you want.
Yeah.
Shakhtar Donetsk, Arsenal went in with an opening bid of 40 million, I think 40 million euros. But Shakhtar Donetsk say they're not going to even listen until they see something above 16 million euros.
So it's not a hijack. It's a deal. It's just that there's
So
competition.
how about the fact that they've
So,
continued talk? Again, the talks with Arsenal continued. But go ahead with what you were saying.
well, if the talks with Arsenal continued, um, it sounds to me it's that there's no agreement. To me, a hijack is when there is, you know, some sort of agreement, and then somebody suddenly comes in with a better deal. But
Mhm.
if there's negotiation and it's open, then you know, hijack in this instance probably just sounds like journalistic mischief to try to sensationalize it. I
Mhm.
don't know. You know, I don't know. You know, Chelsea now have a technical director. They now have a scout. They now have a sporting director. So, and these people, Vival, what's the other guy? Is it Williams? I've forgotten his name. You know, they're supposed to be at the top of their game.
And they're
If they've,
all numbers people.
yeah, I mean, if they've seen this guy and they think he's worth it, then they should go all out for it. You know, the thing about football nowadays, it, it's rare you'll get a cheap deal. Very rare, very rare. And you know, you're
Especially in
talking
January, right?
anytime. You know, nowadays we look at 35, 40, 50 million as cheap, whereas I can remember not too long ago that was a big deal.
Mhm.
So now, I mean, look at Badiashile, 35 million. We're calling it cheap. You know, not too long ago, that would have been a lot of money. But it is cheap in today's market. Today's market for a striker, for an offensive player, an offensive, you know, a midfielder, you know, if you're not careful, you're going into three figures. And it is what it is. You know, money has to be spent. Oh, you see, what for us at Chelsea, we have to understand if we want to get back to the top of the football dining table,
Mhm.
money has to be spent. It is a money game, period. You know, Man City, all these people, they didn't cost nothing. They cost money. albeit over a period of time, and it started at the cheaper end of the market. We are at a more expensive end of the market. I think we've done well looking ahead with the investment into the youngsters, which we didn't have to spend much money, because those guys will probably walk into the hundreds of millions ends of the market by the time their contracts is up. So this guy, it is what it is. And if you're stepping in to compete with someone, if they say that they won't start listening until somebody talks 60 million, then we have to talk 60 million, period.
So you're saying at this point it's not Hijack, given that they haven't come to an agreement or anything?
Well, in my mind, no. I mean, what do you think? It's not a hijack. It's a bid, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, you can say at this point it's not a hijack, and I think
it's a
you made a good
bid.
you made a good point, saying the media just calling it a hijack, so it's more interesting to the reader, and I think it's working really. But because on the other channel I did a short video talking about how Arsenal talks were actually progressing. They were serious about him, but I hope this is one hijack I'd really would like to see happen, if anything.
Well, coach, talks will progress if there's nobody else in the bid. It's like Chelsea with Enzo. Talks are progressing. There is actually now, if somebody comes in for Enzo, it would be a hijack because there's agreements. There have been agreements now in place. But before there were agreements, there were talks in process. Somebody else decided to come and talk. It becomes a rivaling bid, doesn't it? And in this case, I haven't heard of an agreement. So we it would appear, are looking to rival the bid. But what the media is doing is talking of hijack, because that further, sensationalizes it, and it further stirs the animosity between Chelsea and Arsenal fans. They love it. They love that hostility. You say that, then they know it hurts and winds up Arsenal fans, and continues to stir the pot of hostility between the two fan bases.
It does make the rivalry interesting.
Well, if you want to call it that,
So if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream. Again, I'm going to keep saying this because it doesn't make sense. We have 94 votes. 94 people taking the time to click on the vote button to vote on their choice whether they want to see Declan Rice at Chelsea. But we have just 70 likes. Let's get it to at least 80 likes, and we need just 30 more to get it to 100. We've gotten 100 for 3 consecutive days now, I think. So I think we can still do it today and even more. But that's, by the way, again, everyone gets run into the ground next to Jorginho. I think that's a solid argument, and I think that's an argument Bobby will say, yes, that's the truth. Kante pair with Zakaria will be fantastic. No, I don't want to see that. We'll be missing something. If either Kovacic is on the pitch, even as long as, again, no, I don't want to see that. I don't think it's a pairing that will, again, really do well, Prince Mohad, if you understand what I mean. Georgie doesn't work well every week in Premier League. Too fast, too physical for him. That's another argument. Again, he usually enjoys the game better, or again, more effective when the game isn't as pacey as the Premier League. In the Champions League, it does well. But I get that's a clear point there. Yes, people, says my brother Bobby. Smoky Signal says, hi guys. Big up, smash the like button, people. 71 likes. Come on, we should be doing better than that. Even if you're watching, you don't want to participate in the chat, you can do us a favor. It takes just half a second to click on the like button to help us, again, get to 100 likes as soon as possible. Let's say at least 80. Let's start from 80 because we have 96 votes on the poll. So why have just, again, 71 likes? We should be doing better than that. But that's, by the way, let's see what we have here. Mudryk is fast and strong. I haven't got a good look at his shooting accuracy. Go look it out. And if you paid attention to the number we showed quickly, the number we showed in 12 games in 2022-2023, he has 7 goals and 7 assists. That's just an excellent output. Last season, again, in how many games he had, again, how many assists? 6 assists or so, but all good numbers. And remember, he didn't play that much because he was still 20 that year. probably they were easing him in gradually into the first team. He's an excellent player. I really would like Chelsea to steal that one from Arsenal. Really, Felix doesn't have the speed nor strength of Mudryk. He doesn't, yeah, but more effective centrally. Unfortunately for him, he is at he plays for Atletico Madrid, and again with the coach there. What's his name? Diego Simone. I always employing a very, very negative approach to the game, stifling the development of 23-year-old João Felix. So I hope we get him. It's Kani says again, nice to see you, bro. I hope you're enjoying your the festive period. If we lose Kante and Rice, and we don't activate buy option on Zakaria, then yes, I would like us to sign a Rice or Alvarez from Ajax. I'd rather, again, I'm going to say this, Ismael Benessa, he's a player I like so much. But that's, by the way, let's say, what else do we have here again? But I heard the player wants only Arsenal. Show me a video of him saying that. That's the thing.
Garbage. That's garbage.
Yeah,
Is that an
yeah,
Arsenal
exactly.
fan talking?
Yeah, again, so show us again a video of him saying. Go ahead, Bobby. You were saying something.
Yeah, it annoys me when people just make up things and just throw out what they wish was the case. It's garbage. It's untrue.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, again, yeah, I think if we hijack this one again, that will make my 2023. Come on, guys, let's push up the like button. We can do better. 71 likes, and already we have 98 votes. So why aren't we doing better than 71 likes? Jorginho is very slow, not good enough, says Oyuboka and Dior runs. Yeah, okay, if that's how you see it. If you're watching it, again, if you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, let's try to get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. So this one here says Enzo Fernandez has already let Benfica know he wishes to take advantage of the opportunity to join Chelsea. That is just some good news there to see. And I'll still be looking if I see any updates. Again, I will bring it up so we can talk about it. And if you have any, please do share with us. That would be good. So yeah, that makes me happy. First, he said yes to us. He's told them he wants to join us, and I think it will happen. I don't think there are pictures of him on the Benfica bench. He was crying. To me, it looks like a player who's again he has bond with the club, but again knows fully well that he's going to leave in a few days or in the January transfer window. And the comments of the coach, I don't know if I showed you that, Bobby. Just quickly, let's see if I can find that. Yeah, saying I don't know if again this was Enzo's last match. He's a fantastic player. Sometimes look at where I'm paying this. Sometimes in football things happen, and again, players have to make a decision. So this is practically him saying, yeah, he's leaving. But that wasn't again. He has to phrase it this way so as to not to get into trouble or something like that. Yeah, I get it. This number again. I think I'll make a short video about Mudryk's number and why Chelsea should actually hijack him. So Fernandez again, he's already told them he wants to take make the most of the opportunity. And Chelsea are close to completing the signing of Benoît Badiashile from Monaco. And this was when 31st, 4:49 a.m. Yeah, so that wasn't it just nearly an hour ago my time. 4:49. Yeah, about less than an hour ago. Yeah, so that makes sense because I was concerned. We heard a few days ago or 3 days ago that we're close to completing the signing of Benoît Badiashile, yada yada yada, and then again we start hearing. We haven't heard anything for 3 days now, so I that was why I became a concern. So, but that makes me very happy. If you're in the chat, if you have any question, any update for us, shoot it in there. We'll address it because we still have a long way to get in the show, and I'm sure a lot more topics will pop up because I'm looking at my update screen. Shakhtar are using the media to force Arsenal to pay up. So, Chelsea boy, you think we're not interested, really? Even if we're not interested, even if they're doing that, I think that will get us looking at Mudryk because we don't have wingers. You could say we don't have any wingers at the club that can measure again the level at which again Mudryk plays. Name that winger. I'm being honest. There's no winger at the club that's as good, as close as, even close to being as good as Mudryk is. Again, since we lost Pedro, the Spanish international, and William, we haven't had wingers who are as good as those two were for us, and has been and again, or maybe as effective as they were for us. So we really need wingers if we're going to continue playing with wingers, and if we can hijack that deal, believe me, I think we're not going to regret it. I think Chelsea prefers Leao. For me, let's look at Rafael Leao's numbers too, to compare the two. Bobby, of the two players, which of them do you prefer, really? Can you hear? Yeah, to me, again, I think I'll put up a poll in a bit. Bobby, whenever you can come in, I know you're probably having a connection issue. I want us to look at Rafael Leao's numbers to compare it with
Is that between
Mykhailo
Leao and
Mudryk's
João
numbers.
Felix?
No, Leao and Mudryk. For me, again, in terms of Leao and João Felix, I'll take João Felix because João Felix solves a problem for us. We don't create too many clear-cut chances from the central area. The question this person is talking about, again, I'm asking you now, between Mudryk and Leao, which of them do you prefer? But the person here says, again, I think Chelsea prefers Leao. I haven't heard much about our interest in Leao, though. But for me, I'll take Mudryk any day. But your thoughts, Bobby, which of the two players do you prefer, Mudryk or Leao?
It's hard to say. I think price will determine that. If
Rafael Leao stats.
If Mudryk if Mudryk is found to be cheaper, they could well look at him. If not, they could continue to pursue Leao. The issue with Leao is, he's not fully convincing. I don't know if any bid has been tabled, but although to be fair to him, he can't exactly start twerking for another club until he's sure that club is interested in him. So I don't know. This is a difficult one. I mean, this is what the director of football and co are paid for, isn't it? I think from what I've seen of Mudryk, he seems to be quite an amazing player. He seems to be a Chelsea type of player, as does Leao. So it's a toss-up, really. Another thing would be if they are summer buys, or if one is a summer buy, then what's wrong with going for both? And then definitely some players would have to leave.
Yeah, to me, let's look at Leao's numbers. I think from the flanks, really, I think he has some good assist numbers. But you can say, if we're being honest, Mudryk has better, again, assist numbers, given that he played fewer games, but nearly his assist numbers are nearly measuring Rafael Leao's. Let's look at it. For instance, Mudryk this year has.
You also have to consider the leagues they're playing in, the opposition they played against. I mean, who really does Shakhtar Donetsk have to compete against?
But Shakhtar Donetsk, they're a good side, by the way, and the league is tight, really. But I get your argument. But still, if you look at it, in 12 games, 7 goals, 7 assists. But in total, again, for Leao here, in 14 matches, 6 goals, 4 assists. Not bad. His numbers aren't that bad. I would take either of the two players anytime, any day. In 34 matches in 21-22, 11 goals, 8 assists. That's not bad. In 30 matches in 2020-2021, 6 goals, 6 assists. That's not bad, really. I'll take either of the two. But if you give me option, I would say, again, give me Mudryk. But I get your argument. But that's why we'll move on. We've talked about this, Enzo. The deal is getting closer. We've talked about Badiashile. Again, if you have any updates and you're in the chat, do let us know. I'm not sure how you came up with the idea that you think Chelsea prefer Leao. I'm not sure why. Again, from Choma, Yosef says again, hello. Kachila and everyone, hello to you too, Chama. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much for finding the time to join the show. If you're watching, please, if you haven't, I don't know how we can have 103 votes and have just 72 likes. Let's try to get it to 100 as soon as possible. So let me see. Again, I'm going to look for another updates here. Bobby, if you have anything else you want to talk about, go ahead. I'm looking for new updates here to keep the people updated. I haven't seen anything new. Go ahead.
I think from tomorrow we should start to have announcements. I fully expect announcements in and around people like Badiashile, Santos. The club really has to act quickly. January transfer window is not a long one, and it's one that you need to have started the business long before January and conclude within the first 2 weeks to be really effective. Now, Chelsea have started business early, but we need to look for the conclusions.
Yeah, we need to round up the deals as soon as possible. Just some updates here. I think this is just recycling the same old story regarding Enzo Fernandez. Nothing is seriously new there, but I'll look at it anyway. Chelsea Boy says, I agree that Mudryk is a fantastic player and the Turkish league does have aggression. Shakhtar Donetsk is not in Turkey. It's not in Turkey. Where is he playing now? Let me check this. I think we're mixing things up now. Yeah, in Ukraine now. Yeah. So again, and Turkey have an aggression that mirrors the Premier League. I do, however, see Mudryk doing better off the ball. Yeah, I think he would do better off the ball than again Leao would do. And if you look at it here, if you look at his numbers here, look at how many yellow cards he gets here in just 12 games. That should again, that is reflective of how aggressive he's on the pitch, really, if we're paying attention. But hopefully what we're hearing is the truth. I really would want us to hijack that deal, because I'm going to say that, remember I said this, if Arsenal succeed in getting him, it will be difficult for them not to win the league. Yeah, again, I would do, however, see Mudryk doing, but yeah, he is, again, more, again, hard working than Leao is, but there's a chance Leao also is playing based on the demands of the current AC Milan team. So we have to watch him very well to see if that can change. Ukraine League, okay, yeah, a mistake there from you. Why are we signing another expensive player? Chelsea never learned from Fofana, Lukaku. Here's the thing, if we're being honest, and I'm glad you're talking about this, Choma, and I'm happy I have Bobby on the panel. Here's the thing, Bobby was one of those people that campaigned vigorously, aggressively. Chelsea shouldn't sign Lukaku. If anybody, the player we should be looking to sign at that point should be Erling Haaland. Then I have my friend, again, Mykhailo, my friend and brother Mykhailo, then he fought also very well, saying the player Chelsea should be looking to sign at that point should be Dusan Vlahovic. I did a video with HH, YouTube channel. I argued, okay, as much as, again, he's just saying his argument was that Lukaku is better than what we have at the club. It turns out Lukaku is he's not even better than Timo Werner, because we had Werner before time. I did a video with again with Tyrone Sachdeva, my friend and brother, also one of the first again regular panelists we had here. He was arguing Lukaku would do well also, and I said, okay, look at how Thomas Tuchel played. I used the example of Thomas Tuchel not playing with traditional number 9. That's going to be a problem. Plus Lukaku, he's not that player. All the goals he scored in Italy were all, you could say, practically from counterattacks or tappings mostly. He's not the type capable of beating his man one-on-one comfortably. I did a video also, one more person. Who was that again? I think there's one more person, Ishan Bohadra, which I argued against it also. But people didn't listen. And Bobby made a comment comparing, but Bobby's intent on the day was just to show how one player was better than the other, but the way he used, the term he used was taken out of context. We signed Lukaku and we saw how that panned out. He wanted to be the main guy. We don't, again, we're not a counter-attacking team. plus in the Premier League, he wouldn't find that much space. I see again, he did in Italy. There's no that much space. A lot of teams defend deep, except if you're playing the big boys, where this again, like Man City, Liverpool, again, there's always they play high line because they want to win. They believe they can win every game just as much as we believe we can win every game. But that's not going to happen. So, yeah, but in the case of Enzo Fernandez, he's 21. And Lukaku, when we were signing him, there was already 28. And I was arguing if after a year it doesn't work out, he'd be nearly again a year or two, he'd be 30, 31, or let's say 29. There's no sell-on value. And it's happening now. And the videos are there. I'll find them to share with you guys. There will be no sell-on value. And it happened to us. Look how Inter, they practically, again, you could say just bending us over and doing whatever they want from us. Look now, they want to keep him for one more year, saying, again, they weren't too pleased with this performance last year, which means by the time they say, okay, we want to buy him, there's a chance they say we don't want to buy him, and we can't sell him for anything up to 20 million, really. Or again, if they say we want to buy him, they won't pay anything north of 30 million. Well, we paid nearly 100 million pounds for him. So, but in the case of Mudryk, he's still 21. What's his name also? Again, Enzo Fernandez is still 21, and he's that good. So if it doesn't work out, there's still time. We can sell him and get a sizable fee from his sale. And the highlights is different. Even when Lukaku was firing on all cylinders, there were still arguments in the within the Chelsea fan base that highlights how poor his touches were. How good again. If Lukaku, it takes him 15 minutes to get the ball under control if the ball comes in the air. And we knew that even as he was still scoring millions of goals in Italy. So, but the case now is different. But that's, by the way, Choma, thank you. Again, but I'm going to come back to Bobby. I want Bobby to address your comment here, really, because that's the type of thing he likes to address. But Choma, very, very lovely comment, because again, I think it triggers, again, the intellectual aspect of, again, you can say it makes us think intellectually and come up with sensible answers. Why are we, again, we've read that one. I'm going to come back to this so Bobby can address it. Coach, good evening, said Smith David. Happy New Year in advance. Happy New Year to you too in advance. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Why is my screen freezing again? I don't like it when that happens. If you're watching, we have 75 likes and 119 votes. Please, we should be doing better. Coach, one thing with Chelsea, when we do transfers, is it will never be simple. It must be a movie. Yeah, you could say that. And plus, this time, there's a big difference now. We have owners who work with numbers. We have technical director in place. We have good scouting people in place. So we have a good structure. So again, things are very well streamlined at Chelsea Football Club right now. So we're not going to make such mistakes of signing players because the son of the owner wants them without really looking at the numbers of the players' abilities. This time, before we start looking at any player, we did our homework. For instance, I will still argue to tomorrow, the technical director was probably the person that went to the hierarchy and say, we're not letting N'Golo Kante go. He's staying. You know, and Choma says, yeah, please, again, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And again, congratulations to us. We made it to 7,000 subscribers the other day, and now we're at 7,091 subscribers. We may well get to 7,100 today or even more. So keep liking the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have here Sophie X. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I wonder if we really have a striker curse. So again, it's better to use false nine and try to maximize the potential of our wingers. And attacking midfielders such as Mount, Ziyech, or even Havertz. It's difficult to say. I think it's not a curse. Tammy Abraham wore the number 9 shirt again the year before he left, and he did quite well with that number 9 shirt. I think it's a mentality thing. And in the case of Lukaku, it's not a number 9 curse. Lukaku was never going to work well under Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel doesn't play with traditional number 9s. He prefers a fluid attack on number 9, who's a hybrid number 9, capable of dropping deep, supporting the play, playing on the flanks, left or right. If you look at the German coaches, that's what they prefer. Again, what's his name? Jurgen Klopp does that at Liverpool, and that's what Thomas Tuchel did. So signing Lukaku was a big mistake. As mentioned here again, talks still ongoing for structure of the payment today. Yeah, so it's gonna happen. So much smoke, like I said. Again, you could just you have every right to say, yeah, it's a sign that there's fire. This is not smoke coming from an oil on the stove, so there's fire really. Benfica naturally wants a bulk at the base fee this January. Chelsea trying to spread it out for FFP reasons, and still again optimism on the deal. Yep, very well phrased, brother. And by the way, please don't forget to share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. And thank you for this delicious update. And if you ask me, I'd say Benfica are most likely to sell, because if they don't sell him now, I don't think he'd extend. Because I don't think he'd extend. And then come summer, he'd be cheap. He doesn't have to go for his buyout clause. But that's by the way. Bobby, coming to you. So your thoughts on that comment from Choma Yosef here. Where is it? I highlighted it. I'll pull it up for you. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and talk about it. Prosperous New Year in advance, brothers and sisters. Same to you, Choma. I hope you're doing well. And I hope we hijack Mudryk so your brother's club don't sign him. So, Bobby, if you're ready, here you go. The comments here from Choma Yosef, which says, why are we signing another expensive player? Chelsea never learned from Fofana and Lukaku. So, Bobby, your thoughts if you're still there.
Yeah, I'm here. I think that sounds to me rather disingenuous. Football is a high finance, big money industry at the big stage. There's no getting away from that. It's funny how people start balking about money when it comes to Chelsea, but nobody says a word when Real Madrid dropped 75 to 80 million on an untested 16-year-old player. That's top level football. That's what it takes. It's always has been and always will be about high investments. The issue is the right investments. Now, I don't put Wesley Fofana, I think that's the Fofana she's talking about, into the Lukaku category. Fofana is not a bad buy. He's a 21, 22-year-old kid. He was purchased not for the 80 million everybody was touting, but more like the 65 million. And okay, he had one leg break injury, fine. His injuries have nothing to do with that. His current injuries were he had a knee injury, and I'm not sure what this second injury is. But often when a player has one injury and they've recovered, it aggravates another injury, especially when you're rushing them back. So the problem with Fofana is not Fofana, but it's a lack of squad depth to allow Fofana to recover. It's like what's going on with Reece James. Reece James was rushed back. Now, I'm hearing, if that's true, he needs surgery. Well, let the kid have the blooming surgery and save his career, elongate his
career. And get it over with, yeah.
This is where squad depth comes in. We need another right back. We've needed a right back for a rotating right back for 3 years. So it's high finance. Whether you like it or not, it's high finance. The best requires the best. You want to drive the best car, you're going to have to pay for it. You want to eat in the best restaurants, you're going to have to pay for it. That's life. So, the purchase of Enzo, people, if it's Enzo she's referring to.
Yeah, Enzo.
Well, that's the table. That's the table. That's the market. That's where it happens. I don't. Nobody's spoken about what Liverpool have just spent on Gakpo. I think
Gakpo.
That was what.
Just pronounce it with a P.
Yeah, that was what, 70 million, 75.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Was the price tag made public? I don't think it was made public.
Okay, assuming in assumptions,
but it would be something in that region.
It's within that region. Nobody drops that, but then this unnecessary criticism of Chelsea, a team that is rebuilding, revamping, resetting itself to go back to the very top. What are you complaining about? We're blessed to have the opportunity, and we should take the opportunity. We now have a director of football. We now have a sporting director. We now have those people who are charged to make the right decisions for the right players instead of one person who made herself. I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but she made herself everything. The sporting director, the negotiator, the everything. She made it. And I know she picked some players too. So, that era has gone. We're now serious about our business and we're going for it. So I don't buy any of this sort of criticism. I don't think it's helpful. I think it's disingenuous to the efforts of Bowley and the Clear Lake Capital stroke the other members of the consortium.
Mhm.
They're putting in big money here. This isn't peanuts. You know what I mean? This isn't
Yeah.
peanuts. 4.5 billion, then how many? 300 million? And goodness knows how many million in the end. They're going to be spending billions on this club. They mean business, but that's what it takes because they know it takes this to get to the top, and then the club will start to regenerate and pay back. It's a long-term investment, but this is what winners do on and off the pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I really do. I agree with you. Again, I'm going to try to put up a poll, but I'll have you talking before I do that because I want to keep them in silence. I think an update here. I think I've talked about it. Enzo Fernandez has already let Benfica know he wishes to take advantage of the opportunity to go to Chelsea. The clubs will continue to negotiate in the coming days. Enzo's contract has not yet been discussed, but that will not be an obstacle. Okay, let's believe that. And here's the link to Nizion's YouTube channel. If you haven't, please take a second to go check out his YouTube channel and subscribe to his channel if you haven't. Good channel, good content, covers all clubs. So you might want to go and join it. Join his channel and let him know I sent you some. So again, pronunciation is wow. That is what that wow. So the countries and the way they do things differently. Pronunciation is Hapo. Okay, Hapo. Not so the G is pronounced like an H. Wow. And he is 50 million in total. So that's not a bad buy actually. For 50 million, give it its potential. And that's the type of again, I think he's not really gonna be a winger for them. I think he's you could say probably the plan is to have him replace probably again to replace a side of Mane because he's the type of he can use him as a hybrid striker and he's a fine player and capable of doing that anyway. But let's see what happens. We'll move on from that one. What do we have here again? Something else to talk about again. If you're watching, if you haven't taken a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me put up a poll quickly. I think I can let me get Bobby talking if he still has time before I put up the poll here. Just 1 second. Let's see what we have. I had someone again. I wanted to talk about the fact again some news that we're looking at to sign to get what's his name Dusan Vlahovic. And again, to me that makes sense. That makes sense given in the sense that but it begs the question, does that mean that the club has looked at the situation and see that there's no that possibility to get a work permit for Dacho Fofana? To me, he's a different breed of striker from what Vlahovic is, and we can have them both at the club, really. So, Bobby, I'm not sure because the news is serious that we're looking to bring in Dusan Vlahovic this January. What are your thoughts, Bobby? So I'm going to keep talking.
I think
yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
I think it's better than wasting time with Aubameyang. We need to do something about the attack. I know the attack is starved of service by the lack of midfield, and probably Aubameyang would do better if there was a better midfield. In fact, I'm sure he would because his finishing is undoubted even now. But Vlahovic, he looks the Premier League type of player. He looks that type. He looks the part. if he's on the radar, if it's true, I don't think it's bad. I would go with it because I would place some faith in our technical director, sporting director, these people that know the numbers, know the players, get to study the players and make the deal. So I think we have to start to have some faith in them over these things that could be said to be grey areas.
Yeah, and one thing I like the most, something I want to re-emphasize again. I know I've talked about it. Please, but before I continue, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we still have 61 people watching, and we need just 18 more likes to get it to 100 likes. I know that can happen. And again, here's the link again to Nizion's YouTube channel. Please go check out his channel. Believe me, you will love it. Again, always again great panelists. He always bringing in excellent panelists to talk to the people there. Yep. Again, go check it out. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Something I was talking again. I just forgot what was I talking about again. Maybe I'll continue here until I remember what that was. Again, pronunciation is Hakpo, and he is 50 million. Okay, we've talked about that. Oh, Chelsea, how can you leave João Felix and Leao for Mudryk? We have a scouting problem. We don't. Here's the thing. If anything, yes, that helps me recall what I was talking about. We have, again, a good structure at Chelsea. I've talked about this, but again, it's worth repeating. So maybe that will help you understand whenever you hear the club that we're looking at a particular player, you realize, again, that a lot of work, it does go into it. We're not just going for a player just for the sake of it. We're going for a player because that player is good enough, because we've looked at the numbers, we've done our scouting work and realized this player will actually do well at Chelsea Football Club. So yeah, again, we have the owners work with numbers. Christopher Vivel, that's technical director, he works with numbers. And again, this is not the time where we just sign a player for the sake of it. We sign a player because that player will fit into our project and will do well. So if the club are really looking at, if in fact we're truly looking at looking to get Dusan Vlahovic, I wouldn't complain. But I'm concerned as to how we're going to accommodate Dusan Vlahovic, accommodate Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and also again David Datro Fofana. And what happens again, because Amanda Prayer will still recover and become part of the team, so we have a problem, which means you could argue maybe the club will be looking at to let Aubameyang go in January or come to an agreement and terminate his contract. Because what happened the last time, that Kai Havertz started over him, even after Kai was at the World Cup, Aubameyang wasn't. He stayed back and worked with the team nearly, again, a month plus throughout the duration of the World Cup. So yeah, and after again, so for him not starting, to me, it just shows probably most likely that's a chance. No, that's a chance. Let me not say most likely, or probably that's a chance in the general transfer window. He may well move on, or the club will look to terminate his contract, and again with mutual consent from both parties, and say, yeah, this is really not working out. You move on, but I see that happening only if we are able, if we're able to get what's his name, if we're able to get a work permit for Datro Fofana. He's 20-year-old, which means I don't think he counts as a youth player. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let's look at Datro Fofana's. Let's look at what's his number, Vlahovic's number actually. As for Datro Fofana's numbers, it is really something special. Just give me 1 second here. Yeah, again, if you're watching, if you haven't, keep liking the video, guys. Only 18 more to get it to 100 likes. We can get there as soon as possible. We still have, again, some time to go before the show ends, and I'll be looking for more updates here because there are quite a lot of them. So we want to look at Dusan Vlahovic's numbers. Okay, let's see when that opens. Do I have anything here? And I'm going to look at his transfer value. Dusan Vlahovic statistics, so to speak. Just give me 1 second. Dusan Vlahovic stats. I'm going to search Vlahovic here to see.
Try and pop back in just a bit later, please.
All right, no problem, brother. Just 1 second here. Let me see what we have. Dusan Vlahovic. Okay, let's see again. Yeah, Chelsea, how can I get that? I read it. Prince Boateng. Nice to see you, brother. Thanks so much for that. Let's see. Rafael Leao is the best. To me, again, I've said I'll choose Mudryk over Rafael Leao, and I have my reasons why. You need to go check out their numbers. Rafael Leao played more games, but if we're checking the ratio of games they each played to the goals and assist output, Mudryk is the one. Mudryk is more physical, quicker. It's still younger actually. But that's by the way. Let's see what we have here. Wanted to look at Dusan Vlahovic's numbers. Not for Serbia, but for Juventus. For Juventus, okay, 21, 22, 15 matches, 7 goals, 1 assist. 22, okay, 23. 6 goals, 1 assist. In the Champions League, I think that one is Syria. I think, yeah. In the Champions League, 5 games, 1 goal. So his numbers dropped after he left. Was it Atalanta of Fiorentina? What was the club he left from there to Juventus? Age, he's 22. He's still very young too. Again, but because we've heard so much about him for a while now, he's one of those players. When you talk about them, you think that they're in their late 30s. But yeah, he's still very young at 22 and has won. What? Does he have 2 Champions Leagues with what club? Oh, what am I seeing here? Oh, I clicked at the club, not the player. I was like, what the heck? Was that magic? Again, Rafael Leao is the best, says Prince Boateng. And again, okay, you mark my word, Chelsea will leave Leao for Man City to sign him, and he will come to Premier League and pay us back. Okay, if that's your argument. Okay, let's see. But I don't know. I'm really not quite sure. I'm not quite sure about the rumors that Man City want him. Counting the good work again. God bless you for your update. Thank you so much again for being part of the show. I appreciate that. We need just 17 more likes to get it to 100 likes, and we'll still have some time before the show ends. As long as I'm seeing fresh updates, I will keep going. If you have any fresh updates here, because again, things are happening and things are changing quickly here. Dusan Vlahovic is valued at 80 million euros. He's just 22. We've looked at that. Both places, but great, and he's Serbian international. Yep, age at 22. Yep, center forward. But he's a fine player. He's a fine finisher on his day. So I'm not sure again if we're looking at him. If he comes, that's good. But which means we have to make way, especially if that David Fofana. If he's able to get work permit, then it doesn't make any sort of sense bringing in Dusan Vlahovic while we still have Aubameyang, and plus Amanda Broya will come back from injury. Yeah, so his numbers at Juventus hasn't been that nothing too special at Juventus really. Again, I haven't paid attention as to why that's the case. But that's by the way. We'll move on. Let's see what else. That's one heck of a question there, Kishan. I'm gonna say this. As much as most of us again Havertz isn't again he isn't most of us again the favorite player for most of us. To some of us, if you understand football very well, I think Havertz is a fine player and he brings something different. And if you look at it, you see again. It was Graham Potter actually likes him. He played Graham Potter's first game at Chelsea. And that's a sign to me. That's a sign that he likes him, that he feels like again, there's something good in this player and he can make him play at his best level. And Havertz, it's a very intelligent player. He's still quite young. Isn't he 23 right now? Or how old is he? 22? 22, 23. And here's the thing. He's having the same issue that Mason Mount is having. Maybe not really Christian Pulisic, but yeah, the same issue Mason Mount is having. These are young players who the focus should be on making sure that they develop quite well. But unfortunately for them, especially Kai Havertz, because of his versatility, he hasn't at any again, stretch of time played at a particular position consistently. As a young player, that's important. As a young player, again, your versatility can be detrimental to your development because you haven't really mastered a particular position. But even at that, he hasn't been the worst signing at Chelsea. We've seen worse signings before. He's produced some, again, shown some, I wouldn't call it flashes. There was a time, again, you could say, when he's gotten the chance, I think he's shown he has the quality. Again, we can see. Let me just say, we're seeing flashes of what he's capable of doing, but he hasn't played consistently at a particular position. The last time he started centrally as a number 9 man, although it was a fluid again application. You see him centrally. You see someone else go to the number 9 position. You see him on the right, on the left. It was a very fluid application, and he worked quite well. And as long as again the approach is fluid, he do well. But my point is, I think we need to play him consistently at a particular position, and then we'll start seeing the best of him. I know some people are concerned that even when he was still at Leverkusen, when Havertz was still at Leverkusen, he has had that issue where he only starts performing during the second half of every season. And again, there's an argument that has actually happened at Chelsea Football Club, if we're being honest. But yeah, I think the club wants to keep him, and I think he stays at the club. He's still young, and he can only get better. But that's why unfortunately for Chelsea fans, a lot of us don't look at the age of the players. As long as they've been there for a while, we expect them to be again at a level where usually it's rare for a player at their age to be at. But let's see what happens there. Hopefully, he gets to prove a lot of people out wrong. And like I said, he's not leaving Chelsea Football Club. No. I don't see that happening, really. Not at least not right now. Havertz in. Francis Winter says, okay. Sarge Tambwe Omari says again, Enzo Fernandez, Rafael Leao, Victor Roku from Brazil. Again, the rumors of that were showing interest in Victor. I don't know him that much. I haven't done my research. Edson Alvarez, a Mexican international that plays for Ajax Amsterdam. Our team will be strong. Here's the thing, Sarge. Not really. We have better options than Alvarez. Alvarez, I don't think he'd be again the best at protecting the defense, or he's not the most physical. I think we have other players. I'd rather Declan Rice than Alvarez. But again, of all the players we're naming, from Edson Alvarez, from Declan Rice to Amrabat, the American international, what's his name, that plays for Leeds United, to again Ismail Benessa. To me, my first choice is Ismail Benessa. Benessa is the most complete of these players that we're naming. He's good on the ball, good dribbler, finds good solutions in tight spaces. He has good vision. Again, his passing range is near excellence. His finishing is beautiful. Again, excellent too. Let me see his output in terms of chance creation or assist in 1 second. Ismail Benessa. Yep, Ismail Benessa statistics. And actually, he's still very young. How old is he actually? Born in 1977. Let me just do quickly. I think Benessa is still young too. Yep, 25. Again, and at this age, you can say he's in his prime. Ismail Benessa stats. Again, let me do his stats here. So we'll look at his numbers. I think we have to do that. Give me 1 second. I know probably his assist numbers. Again, I can't find something for in-depth analysis right now. Just 1 second. But I think, yeah, in terms of protecting the defense, his ability to dribble his way out of tight spaces, vision, dribble ability, I think I'll take him over the other players. We've looked at that because he's the most complete of all those players. So for Milan, okay, his assist numbers, like I said, yeah, before time isn't that good. But if you go into detailed analysis in terms of tackles won, Again, his how he protects the defense, his agility, again, his physicality and all that. I think he's the most equipped, the better equipped of those again, all those people we've talked about to help us do well. But that's by the way. None of the other guys we're looking has a better output in terms of assist. If you want to take your time and look at it, we have again, he has skills. I just prefer a pure striker up front. Um, I think I wouldn't say. I know some people have the argument that the era of having traditional strikers in the team is dying out gradually. I wouldn't say that. People still use traditional strikers. You could say Erling Haaland. I think what makes him special, and the only reason why you could say Pep went for him was that again his finishing ability. He can finish. It doesn't matter where the ball comes to him, as long as you can. Again, you supply the ball to him. You can argue at least 90% of the time he'd put them away, but he's not the best in terms of his ability on the ball. He's not your hybrid number 9. I don't think he's the type that's capable of consistently dropping deep and participating in the play. That doesn't mean he's a bad striker. But if you look at somebody like Badiashile, he's a more complete. Again, although Haaland has made the name, he's established, but again, David Fofana is more equipped again to become a hybrid striker than Haaland is. But Haaland may be probably a better finisher than him. So, but my point is this again. I don't think we'll be looking for a pure striker, except if that pure striker is Haaland. I think we'll be looking for again a complete striker, a striker capable of participating in the play, dropping, drip, in a more fluid attack. That's who Graham Potter is. I think he does the same thing as Thomas Tuchel in terms of how he selects his attack. He prefers a more fluid attack than having a traditional number 9. Again, Datro Fofana would do well. Aubameyang is capable of doing that because he's good on the ball. But the issue is that again, he's no longer that quick. I'm not too sure about the ability of Dusan Vlahovic doing that. I'd have to go check his plays again to see whether he's capable of being a hybrid number 9, capable of dropping the participating in the play in a more fluid attack. Don't just stay centrally where again those 4 players, if it's in a structure such as 4-2-3-1. Those 4 up front interchange. You see one go centrally to the right or left. But that's, by the way, we'll move on. Tyler Adams. That was the name I was looking for. I think he's a brilliant player, probably underrated because he's not playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. But that's, by the way, again, people, thank you so much for the love and support you've shown this channel. Which of these players would you prefer? Rafael Leao has 84%. Mykhailo Mudryk has 16%. Okay, wow. I think I'm going to change the poll, and that's 25 votes. That's a good enough sample size. I'm going to come back and change it again to Rafael Leao with João Felix. So see which of them you prefer. Let's see what we have. Tyler Adams, I think, is a fantastic player. He did very well at the World Cup. You can say he's one of the reasons why the United States did as well as they did, especially against Declan Rice. And again, you can say big guns, if you want to phrase it that way. He bossed the midfield, was everywhere. He's physical, quick, reads the game very well, and a good passer of the ball too. But I'm going to say again, my list of those defensive-minded players in this order are Ismail Benessa, the second, Rizul Amrabat, third, Tyler Adams. Then you can start talking about, again, the Mexican international and all that. We have been, again, starving for someone up front for a while. And here's the thing. I know we've been preaching for us to get the best attackers in the whole world. Something needs to change. And I'm going to keep preaching this because it hasn't changed. We don't create good enough chances from the central area. Maybe if you haven't paid attention to this before, go back, look at it. The majority of the chances we create at Chelsea Football Club, even from the time of Thomas Tuchel, come from the flanks and mainly on the carpet, which is very, very predictable, which has always been the reason why we've struggled against teams that defend it. So we need creative midfielders, again, such as, again, you can say in the mold of Kevin De Bruyne, Juan Mata, Oscar maybe. Oscar was able to create chances from the central area. And then the king of assists himself, maybe he's still fighting over that with Kevin De Bruyne. I'm talking about against Cesc Fabregas. Since we lost him, we haven't had any players like that. And again, so we need players who are capable of creating chances from the central areas. And to explain myself, so that we'll be able to diversify our chance creation. So if you're trying to stop us on the flanks, we'll still be able to create chances from the central area. Again, if you're defending deep, we'll still be able to, because when you defend deep, usually we try to go from the flanks to still create chances. It doesn't really work. So if you defend deep, we'll still be able to create chances from the central area. So yeah, but it's important. Not really. The striker we should get in a striker because Amanda Bro is out injured, but we should pay attention to our central attacking midfielders, if that makes any sort of sense to you. Hi, MD Omar. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. We are at 90 likes. You guys are absolute legends. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the love that you're showing the Chelsea Perspective community. If you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much, guys. I sincerely do appreciate all your support. So we move on to this one. It says again, somebody again to put the ball behind the net, back of the net. We've seen that movie before. That was the same issue, the same reason why we signed Romelu Lukaku. But in the case of Lukaku, I think that was stupid. Actually, we didn't pay attention that well. We didn't pay attention to the fact that, again, we created chances, quite a lot of chances, but the chances didn't fall to one single individual. The chances, again, fell to, again, plenty of people in different positions on the front. Again, some are wingers, some are placed centrally. So in the end, what signing Lukaku means, again, that when it gets to scoring goals, it has to be channeled again through a single individual, which was Lukaku. So now, which means we'll be creating less chances because the focus will always be to find one man, which was Lukaku. So it was a mistake. We didn't pay attention to where we were at. I'd argue had Pep Guardiola been the Chelsea coach, then he'd say, no, we don't need Lukaku. All we need to do is to keep working and start putting away the chances we'll create. And we would have been a better team the following season after winning the Champions League had it not been the fact that we signed the Lukaku to solve a problem for us, but he ended up compounding the problem we had. So yeah, if that makes any sort of sense to you. Mudryk will 100% join Arsenal because he only wants to join Arsenal. And Arsenal is the only club he wants to join. Wow. Phrase it another way again. Join Arsenal, join Arsenal. And I keep reading it. You don't twat that much for a club or for them not to join. We've seen that before. This is not the first time, really. And it showed me a video of where, and Darren Chandler, thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. I think I'll be doing, because there's no new update. I'm looking at my screen if I see any new update. Okay, there's a new update here. And again, that makes me very happy. I'm gonna look at it in a bit. Yeah, I get your argument there, but let's see what happens. Darren Chandler says, plus, we're going for the league, so why would he want to join Chelsea when he could win the league? Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I suspect that you were an Arsenal fan, Darren Chandler, and thank you for saying that. And Chandler, we have a sister channel called Soccer Perspective. There we cover every club. And if you're a panelist, you're welcome to reach out. I'd like to have you on the panel so we can talk Arsenal on the other channel called Soccer Perspective, where we cover every club, every country, not just Chelsea. But you're welcome to stay here. And please do drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, yeah, here's the thing. If Arsenal sign Mudryk, the truth is you're winning the league. It will be difficult for you not to win the league if you sign Mudryk, because he will make a huge difference. And if you weren't here when we looked at his numbers, look at his numbers. And it's still 21, really. So he will be a long-term solution for you guys. Is this the one? Let me find the numbers, not this one, really. I want to find Mudryk's number. That's Rafael Leao's. If you're paying attention, again, Darren Chandler, if you guys get this guy, he's going to be something special for you guys. Look at his numbers. 2021, 2022, he played only 11 games, probably because he was still 20 then. They were still easing him gradually. and he scored 2 goals and got 6 assists at the age of 20. 6 assists from 11 games. And in the current season, 2022-23, 12 games, 7 goals, 7 assists. He will, again, believe me, he will help you guys win the league. And look at this one here also. Look, this is reflective of how aggressive he is. Again, aggression. He has aggression. He has pace, ball control. I think he will be an excellent signing for you guys. And I hope Chelsea hijacks the deal, because I'm a Chelsea fan. But more importantly, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. You can also be part of this. You can also join us again on the other channel where we cover every club. But because I'm still recruiting a panelist, we don't talk again other clubs more often on that. But that will start happening in the coming year. I'm going to share the link to that channel in particular, Soccer Perspective, so you can go join it. Soccer Perspective. Just 1 second, just give me 1 second, guys. I'll wait for it to load. There you go. And that one is actually growing faster than this particular channel grew. At this point, again, that this channel at that time, at the same age where the Soccer Perspective is right now, I had just about, it's about 120 subscribers, really. But that's, by the way, here is the link to Soccer Perspective in case if you're not a Chelsea fan. But you're welcome to also stay here. I have it on my cursor, but my screen is frozen. Just give me 1 second. I'll be back with you in a bit. Yep, go join Soccer Perspective. Again, we can talk your club there. And you're welcome if you're a panelist. But that's, by the way, let's see what else we have. So, yeah, again, I get it. It makes sense. That's a chance that may well be the reason why he decides to join Arsenal. But I really want to see a video of him saying, yeah, he only wants to join Arsenal. But that's, by the way, thank you, guys. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to those, again, in the chat, and those that have taken a second to like the video. 94 likes, just 6 more to get it to 100. I know we will get there, and even with a lot of cushion, really. So thank you so much for all the love. I appreciate that. If you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I agree, we need creativity in the middle. We do, really, seriously. Enzo, I hope, again, we get him. And I think he's capable of actually improving his output in terms of chance creation and assist, but it depends on where we deploy him. I would only go to Chelsea only for the money, that's all. That's the truth. If he's only, again, if he wants to join Arsenal and we're able to pay him a bigger salary, it's business for everybody involved. And Chelsea is also a big club, if we're being honest, and we get, again, yeah, so he'd take the money and join us. It would, except, let's see what happens, really. In Kunku, yeah, we've made some good signings. Any update on Yusufa Mokoko? I don't think we're serious about that. And I think he ends up remaining, I think he'll end up staying at Dortmund. When interviewed, he rubbished everything that's been talked about in the media about him joining one club or the other. And I'm going to say something. Maybe it is just me. Maybe I still need time to go look at them. I don't know why I'm saying this. Every time I watch him, I get that Batshuayi vibe. That's me. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll find out with time. Let's see. But I don't think he leaves Dortmund, really. I think they'll be able to convince him to at least extend so that when they sell him, they get a sizable fee from his sale. Yeah, I just talked about him right now. Mokoko, I would get. But if you get him, what are you going to do with them? Plus, there are limits to how many players you can loan out. The rules have changed. So those things make it very difficult for us to just go out and be getting players. Except if we get them, we'll probably be selling some of the players we have at the club right now. 93 likes. Great job, guys. We love you all. Yes, we do love you. 95 right now, which means, again, we're about 5 more likes to get it to 100. We can do better because the poll then was at 120-something votes. So, again, I just don't know why. The vote counts on the poll usually don't match. They don't measure the likes. I don't know. People, again, because probably the like is something they don't get nothing in return. But for the poll, they have a question that interests them, that's of interest to them. So they want to participate and show, again, what they think about it. So it makes a sort of sense there. Let's see, what do we have? Darren Chandler says it wouldn't make any sense at all for him to go to Chelsea. That's coming from you as an Arsenal fan. It makes a lot of sense. We don't have any wingers at Chelsea that's anything as close as Modric is, really, in terms of output, assists, and goals. If anything, we have wingers who's not been consistent. I think, as much as I like Ziyech, Ziyech is one of my favorite players. I think Modric is far better than Ziyech, really, and he's still just 21. If you get my argument, to you wouldn't make sense because you're an Arsenal fan, but to me as a Chelsea fan, it makes more than a sense. So the only reason the media is throwing Chelsea in the mix is for Arsenal to make is to make Arsenal pay the money for him. Chelsea don't want him at all. Maybe that's you saying that, but let's see what happens. So Mari Hutchinson belongs in Chelsea's first team, and he's there already. But like we've talked about, if you want me, I'd still talk about it a bit. I think his integration into the team will be a gradual process. It's not going to be in a haste. It's not going to be drastic. Now, why do I say that? That's the way you handle the integration of a young player into a team. You want to keep them hungry. You want to keep the young player to recognize there's still work to do. So you want to make them understand, again, for you to start in any game, for you to even get a chance to participate in any game, you have to earn it. Because that's the way, again, you introduce them, they feel like they've arrived. And the moment a player feels like they've arrived, subconsciously they won't be working that hard to get better. So it's a risk. It's something that had to be handled carefully, and I think we're handling it well. I think we'll see him in a cup game. We'll see him in one of those cup games because the club's priority right now isn't really to win a cup game, but to win the Premier League or maybe the Champions League if possible. So we'll see him in the cup game, which one of them is against Manchester City. Let's see what happens there. Hopefully we'll progress so he gets to play more cup games. But it's a difficult one really to overcome. Hello everyone, Kimso. I haven't seen you in a while. You had, again, your avatar this time. Please let me know who is that. I don't remember. You like to use movie avatars. The last one you had, I forgot who it was, but I recognize the person. On my life, Liverpool paid fees. Yeah, Liverpool. I think you can argue. I think I told Declan, my brother and friend, that actually Liverpool, they overpaid for, what's his name? Darwin Núñez. Believe me, oh my goodness. I don't want to talk about his touches, his ball control. If anything, I think he's just a poacher. He's just, again, just set it up for him to finish. But don't expect him to have the perfect control. I don't even want to go into that, and I'm glad we didn't get him. If you're watching, guys, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, we would do a New Year giveaway, but it's not going to be today, probably on the 2nd. I'm not sure if it makes any sort of sense it will make any sort of sense to stream tomorrow. I wanted to put up a poll. What was it? The question I want to ask? Yes, I remember. I'm going to stop this particular poll, which asks the question: which of these players would you prefer? 78% said Rafael Leao, and 22% says Mykhailo Mudryk. So let me ask this right now. The question I'm going to ask here: the two Portuguese, which I have my again, I have my preferred choice, and I'll tell you why. Let me see, by the time this poll ends, I'm going to ask this question again. Which of these players do you prefer? I'm going to plug in the name. Just give me 1 second, please. Okay, there you go. The other one and this one. Okay. Did I spell that correctly, João Felix? I think so. Okay, there you go. You have the two of them. Let me know which of them you prefer Chelsea Football Club to sign. And I'm enjoying. Again, it's been excellent. It's been very, very enjoyable reading your comments, especially the ones that are aligned to with the current topic. Let's see again if it is New Year already where you are. Again, Happy New Year to you. I wish you a prosperous New Year in advance. Thank you so much for always supporting the channel. Again, I'm going to say this. Congratulations to us. We reached 7,000 subscribers 2 days ago, and now we're at 7,094 subscribers. Yes, let's keep growing together. Again, the bigger we grow, the more fun it'd be to host a show. Yeah. Kimsa, I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. Again, here's a link to our other channel. Please go, if you are from supporting other clubs, please go join Soccer Perspective. There we talk about every kind of football club, every country, not just Chelsea. Thank you. But of course, I'm a Chelsea fan. I'll always be a bit biased when it comes to talking about Chelsea Football Club. Pulisic needs a little more time, in my opinion. Not time. What he needs is game time. He needs more game time. And I'm suspecting he's back now. He didn't complain that much. Whenever interviewed, all he says he needs to play more. At least again, it's more isn't he doesn't have to start every game, but there's something he hasn't played enough really. I think if anything, he's been disrespected. He needs to play more again for us to get him to stay. And I think the owners will find a way. Plus, he's a good player. Forget it. I get it. He means business for the club. He brings in the money given through short sales at the U.S. market and all that. But overall, he's a good player, a confident player. And he is actually, again, a big game player if you have paid attention to his Chelsea career so far. But that's, by the way, I think he stays. He hasn't complained that much. Yeah, again, he's not better than Ziyech. Have you really watched him play? Honestly, his output says otherwise, really. But let me please, bigger brother, nice to see you. If it is New Year where you are already, Happy New Year to you too. I've watched him, and I did start following him now. I started following his development as a young. He's just 21 too. That's one thing you have to pay attention to. Again, since the summer transfer window, when a lot of Chelsea fans were calling for the club to go sign him, I think he's again. You can say over as much as I love Ziyech, I think maybe. Let me say, I think he has the potential to do better than Ziyech. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it, so not to cause friction. Let's not go overboard. Yes, that's the truth. But if we can hijack him, I'd take him really. But let's see what happens. But it just sounds as if Hendrik, the Arsenal fan that was in the chat there, from what you're saying in terms of going overboard, there's a chance we may actually not be looking at Mudryk. There's a chance. Shakhtar Donetsk are just sponsoring the brown envelopes to put it out there that we want him to get Arsenal to pay up, because first Arsenal went in with a 40 million euros initial bid, which the Shakhtar Donetsk response was that they are not they're not going to listen to any offer less than that if their evaluation of 60 plus million euros, and Arsenal hasn't come close to the 40. There's still 20. The disparity there is still yawning. It's still 20 million plus, so that's quite a lot. But the reports also did state that again, talks are progressing. So I don't know where they're at with that. Yeah, let's see. It was a Homelander. Oh, okay, you had Homelander. Okay, yeah. Who do you have now? I want to know. Yeah, it was Homelander. Again, The Boys. I think that's the name of the TV show. Terrible touch from. Yeah, I'm sure. I know what you're talking about. I don't want to start talking about it, but the comparison is that again, if Lukaku has a basic a terrible touch, yeah, Darwin Nunes has a premium bit poor touch really. If we're being honest. Yeah, terrible touch indeed. 15K in 2023. I know, yeah. You always say that. I think we will get there, even better. Thank you so much for always saying that. That gives me confidence. And again, I appreciate all the supports. More importantly, yeah, I'm not sure why. Again, I'm going to talk about this in a bit. Let's see. That's what again I meant by that. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you, brother. Kishan says Ziyech can play well when the ball goes through him every time. Ziyech cannot play a Chelsea ball. Yeah, he needs, again, whenever Ziyech is on the pitch, he needs to touch the ball a lot of time. Plus, if we're being honest, he needs space to operate. He needs a lot of space. But again, if we're being honest, you can say of all the players we have now, nobody is close to him in terms of his passing ability, his shooting ability, his vision. He's the best right now at the club. If we're being honest, again, maybe I shouldn't be comparing him with Mudryk at this point. CR7 to Al-Nassr, yep, business, money, 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 money. We haven't seen anything like that in the football world now. Again, he's broken the record. Maybe when it's Messi's time, we'll see how much he's going to be earning. The most likely, what I think, I'm suspecting he may well end up joining Inter Miami. I'm talking about Leo Messi, but let's see what happens. Let's say it's 40 minutes more to New Year where he is. Again, I wish you a happy New Year in advance. You don't have to say where that is, but let us know when so we can wish you a happy New Year. We wish you a prosperous New Year too. And may all your good wishes again come true. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Let me see. Yeah, Ziyech is the best creator on the team right now. Nobody's even coming close. Unfortunately, he's not been treated fairly. So probably it's most likely, again, would prefer leaving the club. Things will have to change and change drastically for him to start thinking otherwise. Heading out, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope the new year will bring you all love, peace, and happiness. Same here, brother. Again, enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. Any news on Asen Zarayan? That one is looking more like I'm not sure what to say. I think it's looking more like it's not gonna happen. It's really not gonna happen. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. I just give me 1 second. Let me do something with my update screen, something that just showed up I wanted to share with you guys. I don't want you to be looking at the blank screen, the screen where it is white and it just try to blind you really. Yeah, so Zarayan, I don't know. The agent was again about a month ago said the deal is still on as long as it's concerned, but I think a lot of problems to navigate, and at Chelsea we don't have too much time. Maybe we just sign him for him to join to join us later, maybe not right now. But that's by the way again. I don't know if you know anything that I don't know. You let me know really, but I haven't heard anything about Asen Zarayan of late. That's by the way the poll. Which of these players do you prefer? 61% Rafael Leao and João Felix. 39%. Here's the thing. I want to say this. The reason I prefer João Felix is again he's a fine creator. He's still 23. Leao is about. Isn't Leao 25? How old is he? Isn't Leao 25? Let me know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Here's the thing. For me, Leao is the guy because he's a good creator. But although, again, you have to look deep to actually find out that Leao is actually will help us, again, will help us do well in terms of creating chances from the center area. But because Simone, he plays a very, very negative football. Again, you could say he's actually dwarfed Rafael Leao's. He dwarfed what's his name, João Felix's development as a fine player. Really, I think that's why at one point Felix is getting tired of that negative approach to football. He wants to leave, but the price tag is going to be something out of this world. But for Leao is a winger, and we already have wingers at the club, even though they're not the best. But which means we can keep them again and start looking for other options and get in João Felix to help us to start creating chances from the central area and diversify our chance creation so that it will be very difficult to stop us when we play. So I'm seeing opening up a few updates that I'm seeing here. And we're going to talk about them in a bit. One of them, I think this one is important. Do I have it open somewhere? If not, we'll talk about it in a bit. And to my brother, big up Kachila. Again, my brother, Mick. Nice to see you, bro. How goes the Blues? Again, how go the Blues? Yeah, the market is crazy. It's silly season, like you prefer to say. We're following the stories as they develop. But again, there's hope that the fact that the owners are looking to get the finest of players available in the market, I think that gives me hope for the future. But I'm so concerned about the immediate future of the club. I really do want us to make it to top four because if we don't, it will be very difficult to get back in. Again, thank you guys for 102 likes. And again, and yeah, I appreciate that already. We have 2,031 views. I'm seeing that in the back end, so you might not be able to see that right now. But that's excellent, really. You guys are absolute legends. Mykhailo says most of players we have been linked with are linked with other clubs. So question becomes, are they all clickbait links? That's a chance it is. There's a chance that some of them are all clickbaits. Like we had an Arsenal fan who was in the chat a few minutes ago who argued that Chelsea's link to Chelsea's link being the talks that Chelsea are looking to hijack Mykhailo Mudryk from Arsenal were just again something being facilitated by Shakhtar Donetsk to get Arsenal to pay how much they're asking them. But there's a chance we want him because the numbers say at 21, Mykhailo Mudryk is actually an excellent player. What he's achieved, I don't know if you see again. Look at his statistic to see how many assists he has in 12 games. He has 7 assists, 7 goals for this year. Last year, how many assists? Quite a lot. Again, to me, if we can hijack that, I'll take it. But again, there's a chance really that it may be just clickbait or maybe something being sponsored by Shakhtar Donetsk to get more money from Arsenal. But we'll see what happened. Mykhailo said, congrats to Chelsea Perspective for reaching 7K subs. Thank you so much, brother. It wouldn't have been possible with people like you, all the support, advice, and those, again, always in the chat contributing and making it an enjoyable show, which, again, makes others want to join. What a roller coaster of a year 2022 has been for Chelsea Football Club, one that we will never forget. I know people like Bobby, Stav, what's his name, Nick Blue, will always talk about the eras where we got relegated, that we've suffered something similar in the past, but that's my first really, and it was heartbreaking. It broke my heart. Again, the loss of when I read Roman's comments, it broke my heart too. What a roller coaster year it has been. Really, I think we'll do a review of the year probably tomorrow and the New Year Day. It's important we do that. We went through a lot really, but we're here, and I believe again the future looks bright. So we'll look at this again, some other updates that I put up there. Am I missing anything? I think I'm missing one. Yep, this one is just some good news here. This one says Chelsea N'Golo Kante is close to reaching an agreement with Chelsea over a new contract, ruling out a summer move to Barcelona. Again, I'm happy that he will not be joining Barcelona or any other club in England. What a player he is. I think they probably come to the realization really is that this is a player that again, which is something I've argued for a while now. I think I recall Mykhailo saying that I'm here pushing N'Golo Kante agenda. He's one player that he falls into the category of those players where you don't let them retire. As long as they're able to stay fit, again, you can get 10, 20, 25 games from them. You keep them. You see Luka Modric, you see Zlatan Ibrahimovic, you see our own Thiago Silva. N'Golo Kante should be treated again as such. We should just look at him and say, okay, how do we get the best out of him without overplaying him, with ensuring that he stays fit. I think that's what needs to be done with N'Golo Kante, because the truth remains. Go back again from the year he joined us from Leicester City to the present day. There's hardly any trophy that we've won that you'd say N'Golo Kante wasn't pivotal to us winning that particular trophy. We're talking about N'Golo Kante, who was half fit under Mauricio Sarri when we won that Europa Cup. He wasn't fully fit in the Champions League final that we beat Man City and won. Although his performance went under the radar, but we won that game in the midfield area, really. We didn't allow them to play. But that's, by the way, again, I'm happy. Hopefully, again, this materializes. Everything we're reading, again, things we're reading are all true. He ends up remaining at the club. I think it will help us probably, again, make it back into top four or win the Champions League, really. He's that good. And it wouldn't have been nice if we let him leave, because we were the ones that ran him into the ground. Didier Deschamps included, because he's been so important for the French national team and us also, that if he gets injured, the slightest he recovered, boom, we'll pull him back into the fold. We're not giving him much time. He's that, again, it's been that important to us. So what are the reasons why it's starting to look like he's injury prone when he's really not? And I'm glad he's gone under the knife. Hopefully, they've taken care of, corrected the issue permanently, and it will not repeat again. So we have a few minutes to round off, but I enjoy reading your comments again. It makes me, that's the most enjoyable aspect of the whole thing. Yes, I like having panelists on to get, again, the foreign perspectives, but also, again, you provide the foreign perspective too. So it makes it, again, an excellent stream. Something here saying Kante being an Enzo mentor. I used to pray for times like this. Here's the thing. I know some people saying when they saw, I've seen a comment where somebody says something like, everybody wants to play with Enzo. No, if anything, Enzo would want to play with N'Golo Kante, because if he has N'Golo Kante alongside him, then freedom is his. He has the freedom to do whatever he, again, is doable on the pitch, while Kante protects the defense again, perfectly. And I'm sure, given Kante's age, I think he would do, again, if the manager is paying attention, I think the demand would be that he stays disciplined. He does, again, a little less running that he's been doing in the past. But again, there's a question, if we're being factual, a question that I've always asked is this: given that if you pay attention to the attributes that define N'Golo Kante as a player, the amount of running he does on the pitch is one of them. Some will argue that without that, he will not be the same. But here's the thing: I think that argument stems from how Mauricio Sarri used him. You could argue Sarri was actually the person that wrecked Kante, because under Mauricio Sarri, Kante played further forward, even though he was deployed, again, sometimes in the wing, in the right wing position, sometimes centrally. But even though he plays further forward, I don't know if he was tasked to ensure that the defense is well protected, or maybe it just comes natural to him to sense the danger and make sure he deals with it. So you could argue he did the most amount of running under Mauricio Sarri's reign, which means, again, you could argue Sarri was the person that actually wrecked N'Golo Kante. But that can change. I think he can still do well without doing a lot of running on the pitch, because he's an intelligent player. He reads the game very well. And again, his positioning on the pitch in terms of stopping the opposition play is usually excellent. In most cases, he doesn't need to do too much running to execute that. So I think we can still get the best out of him. And I'm happy that he's staying, again, that he will stay. Hopefully what we're reading, things we're reading are all true. Mykhailo said, at least, did I read this one? N'Golo Kante, you can't retire. Yeah, I like that. That good rhyme and good construct there using his name. Yeah, he can't retire. I think a lot of clubs will gladly take him. I see United even coming for him if they say that he's going to leave on a free. But you could say United, even Tottenham, and Arsenal probably knew before time him leaving Chelsea is going to be difficult. So they'd wait until they see it happening before they start vying for his signature. He's not going anywhere. Again, he's here to stay. Plus, more importantly, he's one of the nicest players we've ever had. Honestly, an exemplary professional, really. At least we'll see out the year and still the club, again, World Cup champions. Yeah, that's just the truth. Again, that nobody has taken away that one from us. So it makes sense. Chelsea for life. We must sign Enzo Fernandez. I think that one is happening. And I'm going to use the analogy I've used before also, which I said, again, there's so much smoke. Given everything we've looked at, I'm going to look at it a bit again. All the things we've looked at here from this one here, I think from this one. No, not this one. Let me just close that one so it's not consuming a lot of memory of my computer. This one here, Chelsea will push again in the next hours and days to sign Enzo Fernandez. Plan is to get him immediately, which means, again, the club hierarchy recognizes we have a problem, and Enzo will help us solve that problem. Deal depends on Benfica. Enzo, again, already accepted Chelsea's contract bid, but he played. This says, but he played as he'd never disrespect Benfica. That to me is saying probably, I think they're recognizing that he's leaving. He's leaving the club. but he only had to play that match, participate in that match because he doesn't want to disrespect the club. And something else that's more telling here, is it this one really? I think we've read this one. I think it's this one here. This also is important, but this is not the one I'm looking for. We'll get to that one in a bit. The one I'm looking for really is the one that the comment from the Benfica coach. But this one is important. Chelsea is the only team that is negotiating for Enzo Fernandez. There's still no full agreement, but the negotiation is advancing. The player is approaching the Premier League. That's a good sign, really. Plus, we're the only team right now, because us before, again, I don't know how much we'd spend before we get into trouble in terms of FFP rules. But the new owners, they have a leeway as to how much they have to spend because it counts as an investment. But for other clubs who spend so much money on buying other players, they'd have to spend carefully not to infringe FFP rules. So for us, again, plus we're trying to, again, get them to agree to a payment structure where we'll pay in bits, not lump sum, which gives us time to always balance the books before we make the next payment. I think that's a good strategy, really. But we need Enzo because he changes quite a lot for us. I think Chelsea are not the only club looking. Again, that's not the one I'm looking for. I was really looking for the comment from the Benfica manager, something like sometimes there's nothing you can do. A player decides on what to do with their future. Something again to that effect, which means shows he's come to the realization that Enzo will most likely leave the club this January. So yeah, I'm going to catch up with the chat. I'll come back. We still have a few updates before we call it a day, but we don't have too much time anyway. Here we have N'Golo Kante is a world-class player. Let's have it right. That's just the truth, Francis Winters. I'm glad, again, I'm hoping again, everything was saying again that it is the truth. So he ends up saying at the club. 1 second. Let me see. Mykhailo says, okay, I nearly skipped saying hello to my brother. A big up, bros. What time is it? New Year for you already? Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Again, whatever, even if it is not, I wish you again a prosperous New Year. And my prayer is that every good thing, again, that you desire come to you in 2023. Same to you, Mykhailo. I pray that every good thing, all the Chelsea perspective followers, and again, whether you're watching and you don't comment, whether you only watch, but you dropped a like, whether you didn't even drop a like, again, I wish you a prosperous New Year in advance. If you're there already, it's going to be a prosperous 2023 for you, and may all your good wishes, all your good desires, again, come true. Thank you so much again. Yes, if you haven't, go check out Almighty Blues FC. Again, be sure to subscribe. Let him know I sent you. So whenever I get to visit India, I will be spoiled. But that's, by the way, again, Ankit, please, if you have time, share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And because a big up, Ankit, how have you been broken? Getting ready for the New Year party. Yep, it's going to be wild. Yep. Here we have Happy New Year in advance to all here. Happy New Year in advance to you too, brother. Yes, it's just about. Okay. So I got it right. Let's say, yep, to all indeed. Yep, thank you so much, guys. I really hope, again, we're finishing top 3 this season. It is going to be very difficult, if we're being honest. Just quickly, let's look at the Premier League table before I look at the final topics we have lined up here. And I'm going to explain why it will be very, very difficult. We go to Google. Just 1 second. It's not going to be easy. I want it to happen, but it's not going to be easy, really. And thank you so much, guys. If you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream. We have 106 likes. That's what I'm seeing in the back end. So probably more in the front end. So thank you very much. Premier League table. Let's go. Let's look at it. Let me explain why I think it will be very difficult to get into to make it into top 4, let alone even top 6 will be even more difficult. Now look at it here. If you can see it, let me see if I can zoom out a bit. Yeah, there you go. Again, Arsenal are first, and they have 40 points. They've played 15 games, and we've played how many games? 15 games. Yeah, and we have 24. We have 24 points. So that's a difference of 16 points, really. Man City 35. That's a difference of 11 points. Newcastle United 33. That's a difference of how many points? I think 9 points. Yeah, that's a difference of 9 points. Manchester United, 16 matches, they played one more than us, but still they're above us. Psychologically, that means something really. Tottenham, 30 points. They played, let's say just minus 3 points, they'll be 27. So they're like 3 points ahead of us. So we're close. It's not far away, but it's going to be really tight. But here's the thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I know the Champions League rules have changed. I'm not well acquainted with it, and I don't want to start pulling information from my wazoo and throwing them at you. The truth remains, Arsenal, the worst that could happen to Arsenal is that they're not going to win the league, but they will be in the top 4 come the end of the season, no matter how you see it. But if they succeed in signing Mudryk, they're as good as winning the league, really, if you look at his numbers. From Man City, you know they're going to be there. Newcastle United, look at the games. Look at how many games they've won in a row. They play as a unit. They defend as a unit. Again, the spirit is there. They're just like Arsenal. The spirit is there. And mathematically, actually, they're title contenders, really. The spirit is there. The fighting spirit is there. Even without Alexander Isaac, look how well they're doing. Even with Alex Maxima not playing, look how well they're doing. Almiron plays like prime Messi. All of them, they're good. They don't have the best squad at this point, but seriously, you look at them and see how good. Again, how good they are. If you're paying attention to Man United, you could say you could say they're still a bit shaky, but they're looking more solid after each game because they made too many changes, if you want to phrase it that way. Tottenham, I wouldn't want to count out or underrate or underestimate Antonio Conte's, again, team. No matter how bad you think they are, usually he finds a solution. Although he employs a very predictable approach. That may well be an issue, but I see them making some signings in January to solve their situation. I think it'd be difficult for them to miss out in the top 5. Liverpool, they're picking up form. Yes, again, they lost their last game, did they? What game was that? Yeah. Okay. Maybe again. Let's see. Liverpool. No, they didn't. But let me not get into that. But the point is, Liverpool. I think they're stronger side than we are. They've looked shaky of late, but there's a chance that we'll make some signings in January and become even stronger. So it's difficult to get into the top 4. So that's why it's important. That's why I've said I'm concerned about the club's immediate future. Again, long-term future, you could say secure, sealed. We just have to be patient. But the short-term future in terms of us getting into top 4, it's very important we get in there. Because if Newcastle, again, if they remain there come the end of the season, it will be difficult for them to leave there. They're one of the big boys now. They have money. And given how well they've done, really, you could say they're way ahead of, again, their project is ahead of time. They're doing really well. So we're in serious trouble here, right now, for being honest. And you could say, where's West Ham United, really? Because usually they're out there. Where are they right now? Close to the bottom table. Wow. Holy Tomolika. 5 losses in a row. It could have been more, but they only show 5 previous games here. But again, there's a chance they pick up form. New manager bounce and all that. So it's going to be tight. We want to get in there this year. If we miss out, again, top 4 this year, it will be very difficult to get there next year because it will be jam-packed. A lot of clubs in the Premier League has money, again, to maintain their status if they ever made it up there. But that's, by the way, I'm going to come back, so we'll talk about, again, other things we have here. Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, really. Chelsea will always be my favorite team. Yep, same here, brother. I said, Mario, Bernard, thank you so much for saying that. Keep the blue flag flying high. I appreciate that. Gary Neville accused Todd Bowley of using Chelsea to play a football manager in the summer. Oh, yeah, we're really playing football manager right now. In the summer, we didn't really play football manager. I think I like it to see that they start, again, if they start, they hate us. I like it. It's a sign that we're doing well. But right now, I think they're hating us because they see we have the money and, like, again, we're not afraid to spend. I think the hate is coming back. They didn't hate us that much when we started dropping a form. And again, we weren't doing well, weren't signing too many players. But I like the hate. It's a sign that we're doing well. Improving our recruitment staff. investing in the club's future, again, pursuing handful of wonder kids. The future is set. I'm just concerned about the immediate future. The long-term future, I'm not concerned about. There will be many familiar again with the Americans game. Okay, yeah. Again, Gary Neville. Yeah, a clown, really. Thank you so much. I don't know you speak emoji too. If it was Liverpool, different story. Hypocrites everywhere. Yeah, once it comes to Chelsea, it is different. Wishing my Blues family a fabulous new year. Again, from my Niger brother, Adekunle Temitope, I wish you a very, again, a fantabulous, if you know what that means, new year. I wish you a prosperous new year. May all your good wishes come true. Thank you so much. We will do a giveaway. I'm not sure if it's going to be tomorrow or whether it's going to be on the 2nd, but we'll do a giveaway, and we'll, again, an idea I just got from Mykhail's comments. We need to do a review of 2022, really. It was it was, again, one that 2022 is a year we will never forget in the history of the club. So if you're watching, if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much. Looking at this here, we've talked about it. It makes me happy. I think it's going to help us win more trophies, really. And this is an update regarding, again, not an update, really. They're saying we're looking at him, Pedro Porro. Some people in the chat already talked about him. I don't know him too well. Why is he on Chelsea's radar? Okay, he's just on the radar. It's not like we're looking to sign him at this point. Maybe the club has him on the list in case in case we're not able to get all the targets. Why is he on Chelsea's radar? Playing style, strengths, weaknesses, current ability versus potential. As always, all feedback RT and greatly appreciated. Is this a news article? Yeah, because this doesn't, again, as much as this is it doesn't, maybe because the tweet he couldn't finish anything there. Let's see subsequent. Okay, it's a thread. So let's follow the thread here. He's 23 years old. Porro has been making wavelengths in the Portuguese Liga. Once again, a Man City player. Oh, they start a game. So Man City youth player. He was loaned to Valoroid, after which Sporting got him on loan to buy a deal. He has risen steadily since and made one real, again, City, Chelsea, all interested. Oh, Man City wants him back at the club. Since his early days as Girona, Porro has played as right wing back in various systems at Sporting Lisbon. Again, he has evolved into a wide playmaker like Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo, and David Raum. Okay, offering excellent threat in the attacking third. At present, he's featuring mostly as right wing back, which again will make him a good competition for Reece James. So if you'd like to go look at that, let's look at his numbers really. Do they have the numbers anywhere here? I want to see his numbers to how well he's done the current season. Just give me quickly. I think we'll have to round off with this one, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff popping up, but we can't talk about everything, otherwise we're not going to leave. Pedro Porro, let's see his name. I find it difficult to pronounce it. Let's look at his numbers then. We'll call it a day. Just give me a second here. Okay, I'm going to close the Premier League table. Yeah, let's do 1 second. But I heard also we're looking at Denzel Dumfries. Maybe I'll end up with that one. Pedro Porro stats. Just quickly. Pedro Porro, okay. Looking at the stats here, again, Premier League, that's the Portuguese league. In 2021, 2022, 30 matches, 3 goals, 3 assists. Okay. In 2021, 2022, 23 matches, 4 goals, 4 assists. 6 yellow cards. It looks like, okay. For 22, 23, 11 games, 1 goal, 5 assists. I think his numbers are improving from 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's grown from strength to strength, as we've seen there. PSV, again, okay, looks like Dr. Fofana will go out on loan. I'm seeing something that's saying that PSV are looking to take him on loan, but I really do not want that to happen. So one update here, Monaco manager Felipe Clement I don't think there's only one club that has, again, approached Benoît Badiashile. It is not just Chelsea. There has been a lot of interest in several of our players over the past 6 months. But I think what the most serious, really, if we're being honest, I'm not sure where that coming from. That man is coming. I think we looked at something that says, again, talks are advancing, that he's close to joining Chelsea. Let's wrap it up, really. I'd rather we sign him than pay that much money for Vardy, as much as I think that Vardy is a good player. Bobby here saying, if I can log back onto the panel, I would do so, Coach. Again, just having to sort out some distractions at the moment. I understand, brother. No worries. Again, there are other things to life again than just being part of the panel. But I appreciate you, brother. You know how much I love having you on the panel. So again, guys, I think with that, just let's look at talk about Denzel Dumfries. He's one player that I also called for the club to sign. He's a fine player. His numbers last year were a bit similar to that of Reece James. The rumors are that we're very interested in getting him. Let me see where my note. Where did I leave that? There's somewhere where you mentioned that they were willing. I can't find it. What again? I can't find that one. I think it was for 55 million pounds or so, or euros. But we're serious about getting him. So, but there's no telling which of them is true. We've read about Pedro Porro. There are other targets. Juranovic. There's also Juranovic. I don't remember any other name. But to me, I think this guy is really the guy that will give Reece James a run for his money. Really, if you ask me, their numbers last season was very, very similar. So let's look at it. I think we'll call it a day after this one. There's Denzel Dumfries stats. Now we'll do it. Let's look at it with that. And again, people, thank you so much. If you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. For the World Cup, 5 matches. Wow, 1 goal, 2 assists. That's not bad, actually. That's a good outing for him. So let's go for Inter Milan and see. That's what we need to see how well he did. What year was that again? 21-22. Again, that's where he's close to Reece James's number, because I think what Reece had more. I think Reece had 6 goals. Yeah, I think Reece James has more goals than him. For 22-23, he has 15 matches, 1 goal, 2 assists. That's not bad, really. Again, I think this is the guy that will give Reece James a run for his money. But the issue has always been the price tag, the price that Inter Milan are calling. I'm not sure of his contract. Let me look at his contract. Maybe he will come on the cheap now. During the summer, Inter were reluctant to sell. They were negotiating. Negotiating the loan deal for Romelu Lukaku, and we tried to factor this guy into it, and it didn't work. So let me say Denzel Dumfries transfer market. Yeah, sorry guys, I have to go off the camera to cough because my throat still itches. Denzel Dumfries transfer market. Let me look at it in a bit. Yeah, we've looked at the stats there. Transfer market. Okay, there you go. This is again. It says, Bobby, I'll be rounding off in the feed because we're streaming for 3 hours and 24 minutes. Yeah. Big up again. Just this is Anisa saying hello to you. Let me see. I'll come back, and if I read that, I think we should call it a day. And again, thank you so much for an excellent stream and a discussion. Let's look at it. Denzel Dumfries, his contract expires in 2025, which means next year in 2023 he'd have just 2 years left on his contract. I think it's a bit cheaper. And on transfer market, US, his market value is stated to be around 28 million euros. Again, let's see. And he is still, at 26, he's in his prime. I think he will make a good, again, he will give Reece James a run for his money. I know some will argue Reece is a better player. Yeah, Reece maybe is a better finisher in terms of scoring goals, but then I think they will make good rotational pair, if anything. Intertax, again, I will sign one of the cheaper and equally competent options on the market. Porto, Gosto Juranovic, etc. And I think we had an opportunity to sign, what's his name again? The French player then that decided he'd rather stay in France, or maybe we weren't that serious. I don't remember. But that's why it makes sense. We could go for cheaper options, but it all depends on who the manager thinks will be better suited for the way he likes to play. But that's, by the way, I will end this poll right now. Read the last comment in the chat and call it a day. Which of these players do you prefer? 69% says Rafael Leao and 31% says João Felix. For me, I would take João Felix anytime, any day. But again, we'll all see things from different lenses. And with that, I'm going to read this last one here and call it a day. Imagine what Rich James' stats would be had he played the whole season. Dumfries is okay, but we can do better than him. Yeah, if he comes, I get it. If you think those players you mentioned are better than him, I'll take them anytime, any day. And gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we've come to the end of the show for today. I want to say thank you so much for y'all making it an excellent stream. The discussion was excellent. The contributions in the chat well, again, excellent. And thank you to my brother, Adekunle Temitope. Thank you for always also retweeting that whenever I tag you. I appreciate that. Thank you to Blue Clouds Media, Zion, my brother. And Temitope, if you haven't, go check out Blue Clouds Media. I think you will love his content. Bobby, thank you so much, bro. You were on the panel with me. I appreciate that. Kimso, thank you so much. Leon Lane was here early. Thank you, Mykhailo, for finding time to join. I appreciate that. Thank you to my brother, Almighty Blues FC. Thank you for finding time to join. If you haven't, go check out Almighty Blues FC YouTube channel, Limitless, and everyone else, again, who was in the chat. If I missed your name, apologies. I'm only human. Again, my screen is freezing, and that happens every time I'm trying to end the show, and I just don't know why. But that's, by the way, let me see again. I hope to see you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning show. It's been an excellent show. I hope we all enjoy our New Year's. Again, may all our wishes, may all our good wishes, again, come true. God bless us all. See you guys tomorrow, and bye.
you.